Was he 50 now?
55.
No. Dog.
Mommies, put your jeans up high and tight. Christina P is here.
Oh my! I'm so honored that you did that.
Oh, I even put it in the Instagram post.
OMG! I can't believe it.
I don't even know what it means.
It's so you don't.
I still don't. I remember being on your show and I was like, what does mommies mean? Why does everybody call you guys jeans?
It's silly. It's just stupid. It really started with like, what's the dumbest thing we could call a show? Your mom's house, and then let's talk about jeans and mommies, and it's dumb. It's all about farts.
But it's hilarious.
I know.
Like your show's a very fun, silly show. You guys like obviously have a good time.
We have the best time. It is like, it's how Tom and I normally are, and then we just put microphones, which is good.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Farts, and I don't know. I love it. I feel like we serve a demographic. Like, okay, for instance, I was at the Rite Aid. I was going to go use a toilet, and this guy stocking the shelves goes, Christina P. And I was like, yeah, how do you know? And he's like, I'm a mommy. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like, these are the people, like the people that are stocking shit and driving the trucks and like sitting in cubicles. And these are the podcasting world of humans. That listen.
People that are doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're
it's
not like
silly.
watching a show. Like if you're watching a show for the most part, you're sitting down and watching it. But if you're like listening to a podcast, you're doing other stuff.
Yeah, you're kind of cleaning the house, doing whatever, and laughing and.
But you guys put up videos as well. Like, how much of your show is video? Like, what percentage of your audience?
Oh, that's funny. Video stuff? What do you mean? Who watches the
like
YouTube stuff?
Like, what's the difference between like the YouTube audience versus the audio?
It's smaller.
Yeah.
The audio is the hardcores, and then
isn't that interesting? Though?
Video is secondary. Yeah.
Like a lot of people would have thought, no way. Like video is always going to be seeing it is better because it's an added element.
Yeah, but I have a theory. It's because our show we play like. Porno clips and fart sounds and stuff that's not appropriate for the workplace. So if you've got YouTube on your
earplugs,
on your speakers or whatever, and then it's fuck me, and then you're gonna get fired from your job, dude.
Throatzilla.
It's better. It's Oh, remember her?
Yeah.
God damn.
I can't believe Tommy met her.
I know, and I was like texting him like, don't forget your family. You have a child with me. Don't forget. Like you would ever, Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine?
Right? No,
Oof.
I can't.
Oh.
That's the craziest part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great show, and it's we have you to thank because you were the one that told us to start it.
I tell everybody to start it though.
Back in the day, but you
I'm
got
Johnny
us.
Appleseed. You should do a podcast. I've said it to 100 people, but luckily 50 of them listened.
Yeah.
Maybe
well, thank God.
30 probably. But some of them are really good. There's some really good podcasts that have come out of my stupid stone suggestions.
Are you kidding me? You're the great motivator, the great challenger, the great beginner of fat shaming campaigns.
That was
and sobriety.
not me. I can't take credit for that. That fat shaming was all Bert and Tom talking shit to each other.
But then you came up with the idea to have the content, the challenge.
Yes, the weight loss contest. Well, we sat down, we tried to figure out what to do. Like we should have like something fun, like some sort of because there's also an issue that's going on. Like it's going on right now with Ari, and it was going on with them, where people on the outside think it's serious. And this is probably a good time to address this. Like people on the outside that think that we're actually mad at Ari, or that Ari is actually like not good for his word. These are jokes, folks. We're fucking around.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all just, and so all you people that take it seriously, don't take anything serious unless we say this is serious. Don't take it seriously. Like all that Bert is fat, Tom is fat stuff. We were having a great time with it. They were having fun with it. And the Ari's a Welcher stuff, that stuff is bullshit. All right, Ari is like for real one of the most honest guys I've ever met in my life. And for sure, he wasn't excited about paying for those guys to go to fucking Europe for a soccer game.
Right.
That doesn't mean he wouldn't have honored his bet. But then it got complicated because I paid for the bet and I sent those guys to a basketball game. What was the game again?
Cavs Warriors.
Is that a big game?
It was, yeah, for sure at the time.
I don't understand. Do you get it?
No. Do I get it?
Go to a basketball game?
Oh, it's the most boring thing in the world for me.
Watch some guys throw a ball
Best
around?
players in the world are in those two teams.
Oh, my
I'm sure.
goodness. Do they do really good at throwing the ball in the hole?
Really, really good at it.
Do you like sports at all, though? Really? I thought for sure.
No.
Not football?
No, I get so bored.
Oh, it bores the shit out of me, too. And And Tom's been trying to explain this shit to me for years, and I'm like, I don't. Okay, they run 5 seconds, and then the stop, and then comes the show after the show where the 4 white guys talk about the fucking game they just watched for 2 more hours.
Yeah, what?
And making the stupid jokes.
Those fucking white guys
jokes.
that do the fucking commentary, they're the worst.
You can't find funnier people.
That Skip Bayless, guess that's his name. That guy. Like, could you imagine being stuck on a plane with that guy right now? He just keeps talking to you with shit breath. Oh God.
Yeah, all the bad.
Probably a nice guy. I shouldn't talk shit.
I'm
terrible,
sure.
Terrible person.
I'm sure, and they're all dogs. They're all bad-looking dudes.
Yeah. Well,
Old.
you know what? I like terrible, boring things though. I watch professional pool. I watch hunting shows. Like, my wife comes home and she looks at our DVR. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" This is the DVR. Kickboxing, MMA, bow hunting. You know, like real crime stories. Like,
that's Tommy.
She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
It's
like
murder, killing, punching, murder.
It's like, most of it though is hunting. I'm so obsessed with hunting. Like, most of like my DVR is like these bow hunting shows.
But that's your jam. So that's your hobby. And are you watching it for tips and stuff? Like,
well, you watch it to figure out what to do in certain situations, which seems ridiculous. Like, we just shoot the animal. What the fuck? Get near it, shoot it. It's one of those things that on the outside it looks like very simple, but on the inside it's very complex.
That's how everything.
Yeah.
Okay, like surfing.
Oh,
you go,
yeah.
oh, that's super easy. No, it ain't. That's like the hardest fucking thing in the world to learn to do.
Have you ever seen an indoor one?
No.
Dude, they
What
have
do
these
you
indoor
mean,
ones.
bro?
They had one in Austin, bro. You get on a surfboard and you can go on it for like 10 minutes.
Get
like, they say
out.
it's an amazing way to get good because you don't have to wait for waves. It's a machine. So there's this huge pool. You get in there with a surfboard and you surf like fucking crazy and you just keep doing it.
And you don't have to paddle out, turn the fucking board around. And then,
Well, it's also
It's
I would
horrible.
imagine you're developing those stabilizer muscles,
Yeah.
right? Like, I was talking to guys that look at that.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't
I
that
love
insane?
this stuff.
Like, look, you just surf around and you get used to like balancing. So it would be a good way. I don't like that guy. Just kidding. Just kidding, buddy.
Fuck that guy.
I don't like his face. It'd be a good way to develop all those weird, like, that's one of the things that you realize when you start doing yoga is that there's all these weird muscles that you didn't know that were weak. Like these weird stabilizer muscles in your feet. Like, the number one thing that bothered me when I first started doing yoga is my feet. My feet would give out before anything. I was like, this is so weird. They would just give out.
Your ankles, you mean?
No, my feet, like the heel, like the, because you're standing on one foot and you're balancing, so your foot has to kind of like do all this, like, you know, like adjusting. And while that's happening, you know, like, my foot's like getting fatigued. Like, the arch of my foot starts hurting and I have to put it down.
Damn.
Yeah, that's like, it took me a long time to get past that.
So now, were you a huge fan of hot yoga before you came up with this challenge?
Yes. Yeah. I've been doing it for a few years now. I've been doing it pretty seriously for 2 years. I did it on and off for a couple years before that, but I got real serious about 2 years and 2 months ago. I just started doing it every week.
Now, what's the benefit of the heat?
Heat shock proteins. There's and this hasn't been proven, but there's a study they're doing right now, I think at Harvard, about this, because it's been proven that sauna. There's a woman that I have on the podcast all the time. She's brilliant. Her name is Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and she's like one of my favorite people. And her she's done a bunch of work on saunas. She's kind of obsessed with cryotherapy, cold shock proteins, and heat shock proteins. And your body has a response to extreme heat and extreme cold by producing these anti-inflammatory cytokines. And when you go into a hot sauna, I think it's 4 times a week. If you could do it 4 times a week, it reduces mortality amongst all causes by 40%.
No shit.
Stroke, heart attack, cancer, everything. And it's because most of the issues that people have, health-wise, stem from inflammation. And it's inflammation from sugar, poor diet, but it's you can mitigate a lot of that inflammation with sauna. And I think yoga mimics the sauna because it is so fucking hot in the room, right? The room is 105 degrees. And then once you start exercising, your body's through the roof. I mean, I am like a lot of times I'm doing poses and I have my arms straight out and I'm watching water just pour out of my body onto the ground. I don't have a shirt on, right? So it's not like it's coming out of a wet shirt. It's just pouring off my body, drip, 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 just squeezing all the water out of my body. And I drink a large 64-ounce bottle of water filled with ice during the entire class. So in that 90-minute class, I'm drinking 64 ounces of water. Yeah. So there's a tremendous amount of stress on your body from that heat and from the poses themselves. And so I would like to see what happens when the results of this study come back, because I think they're going to show probably a similar effect to like the anti-inflammatory markers in the blood that you see from sauna.
I did not know that.
Yeah, sauna's amazing. If you can get a sauna like near your house.
I want one. We were just talking about that this morning, man.
They sell them that you can like install a small one. Like the new studio has a sauna.
Oh, okay.
Dude, you can come on over anytime.
Okay, I'll come do your sauna. That's so crazy.
Yeah,
I'm on that Primal Diet. I've been doing it since
Mark Sisson's diet? Yeah.
For like, I don't know, almost a year now. And
amazing.
that's the big thing. She says, my trainer, I take Pilates. She said, it's the inflammation. It's the inflammation. You don't want to be inflamed.
Yep.
I'm like, oh.
Yep.
Now I see.
I got it from a woman once. She told me, she's a trainer, and she said, and she was talking to me about back issues, issues that people have. And she goes, this is going to sound really weird, but one of the best ways that we figured out how to help people with back issues is get them to go on a gluten-free diet. And I was like, what? And this was like a few years back. I was having like some neck problems. And I was like, a gluten-free diet, why? And she's like, well, gluten causes inflammation in a lot of people. I was like, oh, that sounds like some new age hippie bullshit, right? So then I started looking into it, and then I realized like, oh, there's something to this. And then I'm like, oh, it's not just gluten. It's actually refined carbohydrates and refined sugars and all that stuff. But gluten too. You know, Maynard from Tool, you know that dude? Maynard Keenan?
I know, but I know who Tool is.
He's awesome. He's a really good dude. But he also has his own vineyard and a restaurant in Osteria. You ever know what an Osteria is? I didn't know until he told me.
Yeah.
It's a small restaurant that serves like small plates. It's like sort of like tapas. That's like a similar
like
type
Italian
thing, right?
tapas.
I don't know. But anyway, he has, they serve pasta that is heirloom pasta.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, we'll use heirloom wheat. Because the wheat that they used to sell, like wheat that people used to grow, like way back in the early days, was much more low yield. And so the same thing that people have done to tomatoes and a lot of things by making them more robust, when they did this to wheat, they made a much higher yield wheat. So if you have an acre of wheat, you get much more wheat out of it, but it has much more complex glutens in it, and it's more difficult for your body to process. So one of the things that I noticed when we went to Italy is I was eating pasta over there, and it didn't give me this horrible brick in my stomach feeling.
Right, you feel like you want to die afterwards.
I'm like, why is it different? And he was explaining. He's like, your body is struggling to process this modern gluten, this modern wheat. But he sells this stuff that's heirloom, just sort of like those ugly tomatoes, those delicious heirloom tomatoes.
I love those.
Same thing. That's what a tomato used to be like. They used to be this like weird, funky looking, but super delicious, almost like a fruit.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. You know, I don't even eat pasta. I haven't had it in like a year. Like, you know, every now and then I have a nibble. But the thought of eating a bowl of it now, it's repulsive. Like just that empty, there's no nutrition.
I know.
Right? There's nothing in it. It's just dog shit. And it's going to turn to slop on your body, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
Yeah. I used to love it.
It's gross.
I eat it every now and then. I still eat it. I ate it the other day. I made sausage and put pasta, I bought some of that Italian pasta.
Yeah, the real deals.
Yeah, the real deal. You get it. I think it's called 00 wheat is the type that they have. Yeah, that's what it is. And you can get it from Italy. Like, get it on Amazon.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I order eggs that are like super organic, fancy ones.
Dude, I gotta
too.
give you eggs.
Oh, do you have chickens?
Yeah, I gotta give you eggs.
Man, I
I'll
want
give
chickens.
you some fresh eggs.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you guys have a nice yard. You should get a little chicken coop.
That's the next. I thought it was Jamie. That was good.
No.
But yeah, I want to get chickens.
Yeah.
Because I like, you know, in Europe, the yolks are nice and bright orange.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be yellow.
No.
It's really nasty, dude.
No. That's why you see vegetarian-fed chickens. Like, they don't want that. Chickens want bugs and worms and beetles and mice.
Right.
They're little monsters.
They nasty.
Yeah, they're nasty little
They're
frickers.
nasty shit.
But it's such a good deal. Like, you give them food, you let them roam around your yard, they pluck at the grass and they eat bugs. and and they give you eggs. It's like a super sweet deal.
Now, do they shit everywhere?
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You have a dog? You have a dog, right?
We got 2 dogs.
Okay, your dog's gonna eat all the chicken shit. It's fucking gross. Marshall goes in the yard and just goes on a chicken shit like Easter egg hunt. So gross.
It's the circle of life, right?
You see him just gobbling up chicken turds. You're like, dude, you're so nasty.
It's a nasty dog.
And then he wants to run over and kiss you.
Yeah, of course. And then does he sleep in your bed too?
No fucking way. No.
Where does the doggy sleep?
He sleeps in his dog bed.
Oh, in your room though?
No.
Somewhere else in the house.
No, he sleeps in my office.
Oh, okay.
He's got a little dog bed. He's got a sweet little setup.
This is the puppy you just got.
Yeah, he's 11 months now.
Oh.
He's a big boy now. He's full grown. Golden retrievers, they get to be like full grown pretty quick. He's the sweetest dog.
They're
so
awesome.
Nice.
They're such great dogs. They're so
sweet.
loving and they're such
Super
good
smart.
family dogs. Yeah.
And he's really smart. Like he gets it. Like you can talk to him. Like, come here, buddy. Like he just comes. He gets it. He's like the communication with him is very simple.
Yeah.
And he's just like always happy. He's just a big sweetie.
Yeah, they have a good demeanor, those dogs.
Yeah. Really
but they're
peaceful.
Can he chill alone or does he need to be with a person?
No, he chills alone.
He's like, whatever.
I can just go, hey, bro, why don't you just go chill out in the backyard? And he goes out in the yard. He
Eats all
goes
his chicken
swimming
shit.
by himself, which is kind of hilarious. Like the pool's there,
Yeah,
and he
I've
just
heard they do
flies
that.
through the air and dives in the water by himself. And then as he's what's really silly is as he's swimming, he's paddling and he creates these splashes and he tries to bite him. So it's splash. It's like it's so silly, so silly.
I love doggies.
Yeah, they're great.
I want like 10 of them. I have these little shit dogs. They're called Brussels Griffon. That's my breed. They look like pugs, but with more fur. And they're just so stupid, and I love them. But they always want to be next to you. They always want to snuggle.
Of course. You're
I
nice.
like that. I am, yeah.
Yeah, they want to be near nice.
You're nice, person.
Why wouldn't they be?
I'm very
Yeah.
snuggly. I know. I like that shit.
Why wouldn't you be?
I know.
I don't, people that don't like dogs, like, what don't you like about them? That they're
Yeah.
sweet, that they're loving.
And they're stoked to see you all the time.
There's a weird thing, though, with people that only like dogs and don't like people. It's like,
Oh, that's too much.
yeah, it's like, your personality probably sucks, man.
The person that's strictly dog. Is that what you mean? When they go,
yeah. I'd rather be around dogs than people.
No, that's fucked up. That's a
okay.
therapy problem.
You know what the next step is? Horse people. I
Fuck a
judge horse
horse.
people. There's horse people in my neighborhood. I judge them.
I don't like horses.
Yeah.
Fuck them. I don't want to ride them. I don't like them. They smell bad. I mean, they're pretty from a
Don't tell
distance.
that to Whitney.
No, I know. I see her on Instagram. She
Whitney's
loves those
just-
fucking horses.
She loves her horse.
What do they love so much about these horses?
Whitney's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very smart. Like
Yeah.
one of the smartest people I've ever met. But she's fucking insane in a good way. But like she has so much information. Every time I talk to her, I have to Google something. I'm like, what?
What does she know
what is that?
about? Tell me.
Everything. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
Weird. She told me about weird violent sports that I didn't even know existed. One of the things she was telling me is why people have a fear of public speaking. This was something that she said the last time she was on the podcast. And I said, why? And she's like, because in the past, when you spoke in public, it was because you were trying to make a case for your survival.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
That they were looking at you like you fucked up and there was a big group of people judging you. I was like, oh.
That's interesting. I would think it's fear of alienation from the pack. It's the same reason people are afraid of success. It's because you don't want to lose your connection to the tribe because it separates you from the tribe.
Well, as
Shame.
a comic, don't you notice that when people get to be a certain level of success, there's some of them just stay cool and they just hang no matter what. Like Ron White. Ron White is always just hanging
Yeah,
out,
right.
And he's about as big as you get. I mean, Ron White has sold out fucking arenas, right?
Crazy.
But, you hang with Ron, he's like, hey, man, what's going on? You want a drink? He gives you a hug, and he's the best, right? But, like, some people, they get insulated and they get weird, and then they lose touch with everybody, and then their comedy suffers.
Yeah. Well, because you can't be removed from the world to talk about the world. It doesn't really work that way, does it?
No. But I think people...
How do you stay normal?
Well, I don't know.
Like, how do you stay normal? You're super successful.
I think one of the reasons is because I do a lot of other shit, like the yoga.
Yeah.
I think doing yoga, like, it's difficult. Doing jiu-jitsu, bow hunting. Bow hunting is one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's super difficult. Super difficult to get accurate. Super intense pressure on the line when you have to execute a shot on a living creature. And then, just to get obsessed with the methodology behind it and all the technique and and learning and studying it and just, I get obsessed with things. So By doing things I suck at, like yoga, bow hunting, and jiu-jitsu, you get more humble. You know, I suck less at jiu-jitsu than I do at the other things, but I still suck in comparison to people that are really good.
That's really interesting. I like that because I started baking.
There you go.
Very domestic. And I suck at it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking terrible at
But
it.
you have to think.
But I have to think, and I'm learning, and it's for the thrill and the joy of doing it. It's not result oriented, and I think that's the difference between hobbies and career, right?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Like there's no results that need to happen with you in bow hunting. If they happen, great. If not, whatever. But it's for the enjoyment of the activity versus like results. You know, like, oh, why should I play the piano? I'm not going to get to Carnegie Hall. Well, who cares? Like you don't have to.
Right.
Who says you have to get to Carnegie Hall? Just enjoy the activity,
Yeah.
the hobby.
Well, and
God damn it.
and being obsessed with the process of learning.
Yeah.
Because you're a beginner. Whereas opposed to like if you're some mega celebrity superstar comedian that sells out giant arenas, you're not a beginner, man. I mean, and if that's all you do, if all you do is something you're awesome at and everybody loves you and you go out, what's up everybody? Yeah.
Right.
You know, like there's a weird disconnect that happens with people. And you see it with certain comics. I mean, you see a clear progression in their stardom and their act falling apart.
Right. And that is because of the loss of touch with reality and what's normal in the world. And
Also, you get too fucking comfortable.
right, complacency. Yeah, definitely.
And you start believing that you're awesome.
Right.
You know, you're not the self-critical aspect of, you know, analyzing your act, going over it with a fine-tooth comb. Like when you just did this special, right? I'm sure you must have spent a lot of time like combing.
Every word mattered. Every sentence mattered. Every joke mattered.
That's why you're really good. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the whole thing. Like you have to fucking hate yourself.
So much.
Right?
So much.
It's the worst.
I'm so glad you say that because I you know, like I said, I told you before we wrote, like October 9th, I was just some douchebag who sold 200 tickets in Portland, and I'm still that person, but I'm saying like October 10th, 108 million people now have access to my stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mind fuck, but the good news is I'm still self-loathing enough to be like, you gotta grind. Like I'm still gonna go to the Comedy Store.
Sure.
Work out this next hour, and it's always the work of it. But you do have to fucking hate. You can't believe the hype that you're great.
No. Well,
That's
you know
bad.
You know all the various incarnations your act has gone through and each bit has gone through. When someone comes to see you, they're like, "We're gonna go see Christina. I'm with the mommies," woo!" And they see you, and it's the first time hearing all the material, and they love it. Like, "Oh my god, it was fucking amazing."
Yeah.
You know better because you know you've gone through it all and you picked it apart. And you know, I always tell people like,
God.
I'm not like the biggest fan of me. Like I just think I can do better. And it's like no matter how much I murder, it's like
of your comedy,
all
you're
of
so,
it.
and you're like one of the most thoughtful, thought-provoking, funny, articulate. Like, you know what I mean?
But
You're really deep and good.
I've known myself too well.
I'm
not buying it. I'm not buying it.
You're like, I don't believe. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking to Tom about. That's so funny this morning too. We were walking, and I was like, I think that's how you keep your career, is if you struggle as though it was the first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't think you're all that.
Do stuff that you're sucking at too.
Yeah.
Do the baking, do the hot yoga, do Pilates. Pilates is very underrated.
Fucking, it kicks my ass. I hate it. I
Yeah.
don't like to exercise, but after I had my kid, I was like, I don't want to be brittle
Right.
and hunched over and
Yeah.
and shitty at 50. Like I'm looking to 50.
And Pilates is like a core thing, right?
Yeah.
Like works your whole core, and that's the thing that the people don't
Yeah.
think about. It's like a hip word to use, like core.
Right.
I'm working my core.
What is that?
Like, what is that?
I didn't know
Yeah.
what that was.
But what it really means, what you really got to work is not just your muscles like your thighs or your arms, but work the stuff that keeps you upright.
Yeah.
All those muscles that stabilize your back, all those muscles that allow you to have good posture.
Oh, yeah.
All those muscles that keep your discs from compressing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that yoga does. It stretches you out, and Pilates.
I gotta get back into yoga.
Why don't you go with Tommy?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I had a kid, it fucked up. I got the sciatica. Because you know your body literally splits in half. Your pelvis is two bones, right, that come apart, and the baby comes out, and then it has to heal. Ooh. So I'm 2 years postpartum, and it's just now kind of coming back.
That's crazy.
But yeah, dude, it's been like it's brutal. I'm sure being 39 or 40 when I had a baby probably wasn't helpful. I didn't, but But that Pilates, it kicks my, and I'm bad at it too. I suck at Pilates, I make fun of myself the whole time. I'm like, do I have perfect form? Am I the best at this you've ever seen? Like, but you still do it.
Yeah.
You still fucking push yourself.
Well, doing things that you suck at, I think is giant for anyone doing anything, because I think that if you get to certain levels of proficiency at things, you can get lost in that thing. And I think one of the best ways, especially maybe I'm just looking at it in terms of creative endeavors, because like stand up obviously is so dependent upon your ideas, so dependent upon creativity, that one of the best ways for me to have other thoughts other than like just my immediate act and doing shows and travel. You know, like that's the worst thing that happens to comics, right? They start doing airplane jokes because they're on airplanes all the time and hotel jokes, and they just lose their perspective, right?
Yeah.
Do other shit. Like,
live a life.
Yeah, live a life and do stuff that's fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know, have some struggle so that the stand-up struggle doesn't seem that stand-up is the easiest fucking part of my day.
Right. After, doing it for 14 years, yes.
Yeah.
Or however
After
long
yoga and running and all the other different shit I do, the stand-up part is the easiest part.
You know, it's so interesting, too. I was thinking about, I've been doing it for 14 years before I got this first special. And I was like thinking about the crazy shit you go through to be a comic, and like the horrible positions I put myself, like as a woman too, it's especially fucked up because you're like a feature act and you're staying in like motels where the door faces the fucking parking lot, and you're doing some hibachi grill, and some weirdo's gonna try to pay you with a fur coat instead of money this week. And you're like, what kind of sickness was I in my 20s and 30s where I thought that was okay, you know?
Well, you really would only do it when you're young.
Crazy.
Like if you wanted to start that right now, it would be such a grind. Like guys like Dean Del Rey, like give it up to that guy. That guy didn't even start doing stand-up till he was like, I think he was like 46 or some crazy shit like that.
Old?
Dean's in his 50s.
No.
Yes.
He looks great.
Looks great. You know why he looks great? He looked like shit just a few years ago. He got off sugar completely.
Oh, that's right.
He was eating candy all day. He had like a real sugar problem. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, hey, bro, you're going to get fucking diabetes. You are right now pre-diabetic. He's like, see this? Look at your blood. You see, they showed him the blood markers. Like, you're on the way. Like, you are right now officially pre-diabetic. What do you do? And he said, well, I eat gummy bears and shit. Hey,
man. I can't do
his voice either. Hey, I'm eating gummy bears, man. He would eat candy all day long.
That's crazy. As an adult.
So bad for you.
That sugar is the worst for you. That's the fucking devil right there.
That is the devil.
Yeah.
But they say your body doesn't really differentiate between fruit and candy.
I had a trainer.
Crazy?
I had a trainer that called it nature's candy.
Ooh.
He's like, fruit, nature's candy.
Is it a black guy or a country guy?
I don't know.
Where do you live?
Some guy at Gold's
From
Gym.
Wyoming. He used to live with cowboy boots on. Don't be eating that nature's candy. Here, have yourself a wheat biscuit.
He was a miner. Yeah. Oh, fucking, I don't know. Yeah, he was telling me about nature's candy, the evil of it. And I was like, that's true. It's just fucking sugar.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Thing.
Like I had mango the other day. Oh, so delicious. Yeah. Nice ripe mango.
They make you shit too.
Do they?
Makes me shit. That's like lightning.
You know what makes me shit?
What?
It's fucking coffee. This caveman coffee. This stuff opens up. Woo! Woo!
Woo!
Sometimes I shit. Like the other day I shit, and I tell my 7-year-old about it.
Yeah.
I tell her. She's like, Daddy, you almost done? Because I was playing with her, and I had to take this horrible shit. I just taken her to a martial arts class, and we got home, and I go, I'll play with you, but first I got to go potty. And I was in there for like 5 minutes. She's like, Daddy, you almost done? I'm like, look, the shit I took was so huge, I was almost going to show it to you.
Yeah.
I say the poop. I don't say shit. I don't know why. I'm preparing.
You don't curse in front of the...
I do occasionally, but here's a problem. When she was 3, when my youngest was 3, we were skiing. She's been skiing since she was like 2. And we took her skiing, and we were putting all our stuff back in, and we had everything stacked up, but we were putting the bags away. We're getting ready to leave, and my wife goes, honey, you didn't put your helmet back in the bag. And she looks at the helmet, she looks at the bag, and she goes, shit. There's something about a 3-year-old looking at her bag, looking at the helmet, and going, shit.
That's great.
And my wife just goes, ooh.
Yeah.
And we were trying not to laugh to encourage her, but it was fucking hilarious because it was a natural, like, she's like, that's what you're supposed to say. That's what Daddy says. Shit.
Well, that's the problem is that our son has 2 comics for parents.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. So the other day he was throwing a tantrum, and then he pushes Tom. Like, he hits him. And we were just like, "Wah!" Like, that's ridiculous. Look, you're not even a person yet. Fucking hitting your dad. But then we had to be like, oh, no.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, and
How
we're
old is he now, 2?
Almost. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he's 22 months. And
Don't
we're
be
starting
hitting.
that potty training stuff. So we got to come up with the word. Like you said, poo or...
Right.
And so we started using dump because we want to be like...
Dump's good.
Because it'll be really funny when he's in school and he's like, I have to take a dump.
Yeah.
It's not dirty. It's just funny. So we started with dump, but he can't say it. So it's turned to poo-poo.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Poo-poo.
Yeah.
Yeah, poo-poo.
Yeah. They
It's
can
a
all say
trip,
that.
man.
You don't want to give your kid a word for shit that they can't say.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's got to be poo-poo. for now.
Shavanzda. Daddy,
Shava-
I've got to... You want to make it mama, dada, poo-poo.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Very simple.
Now, my son insists on sitting on my lap while I take a shit sometimes.
Oh, Jesus
Doesn't wanna-
Christ.
I'll throw
Well,
a
that's the difference
tantrum.
between the way kids treat the girl, the mommy, and the daddy. The mommy, they cling to, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, did you breastfeed or did you pump? Or
I did. Yeah, I did.
did you do both? Did you do the pump thing?
Did both, man. Did it
Yeah.
all. Formula, breast.
So they're just connected to you,
Yeah.
just like physically. You're the source of nutrients. You're the source of love. You're the source of life. There's like so much going on.
So crazy.
What does it feel like?
Powerful.
Yeah.
It's the best. It really, like, as far as being a woman in society, like, societally, it's not that great. But I will say that, like, reproduction stuff, it's fucking awesome.
How is it not great societally?
Well, okay. I mean, we're still second-class citizens, let's be honest.
Women are? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Your power is, I don't really feel, it's not really, blah, blah, blah. It's not really
But you don't
equal.
exist in a corporate world. So where
I
do you
don't.
where do you find the deficit?
Well, in stand-up, definitely.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's starting to come around. But if you look at, like, where we're at now, it feels a little regressive in terms of where we were in, like, the 90s.
With
for
women?
female I would say, yeah.
Whoa. What do
Yeah.
you think the source of that is?
That's, I cannot. I don't know. I think 9/11 changed us, made us more conservative in some ways, a little more insulated. I don't know.
I think it's just a lack of quality. I think when someone
Maybe.
like you comes along, for real, I've told you this before. I mean, I saw you at the Comedy Store like 4 or 5 years ago when I ran up to you, like one set that you had, and I go, dude, you're one of the funniest people alive.
I can't take it. Thank you. You're very, you're so encouraging of me, and I always am so thankful. You're the reason I got a special. I was in here years ago, and you're like, you should have an hour. And I was like, oh, yeah, I should have an hour. Maybe I should get a manager and an agent. Like, I wasn't even thinking in terms of being, like, intelligent.
What were you thinking?
I was fucking just like, I just want to be good at this. I just want to be good.
But that's the right attitude.
Yeah.
Ironically,
Yeah.
the people that are like, I need a special now, those people suck, right? Like the people
Right.
that are trying to do something that's way out of their reach, like the people that are like,
Yeah, yeah.
I need to be filling arenas. Like, no, you need a fucking good 10 minutes, you piece of shit. Like, what are you talking about? Like, those are the crazy people, right? The people that are
Right.
like really good at promotion, but really bad at stand-up.
But then, however, there's people who are really talented
Yeah.
who don't have enough business savvy. So I think there needs to be some kind of like thing where you start to learn the business and you become responsible for that end of it. And I think I was not taking responsibility.
Well, I think the
You
beautiful
know?
thing about stand-up is that there's especially today, and there's a difference between today and 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because there's more opportunity, and because there's more opportunity, there's YouTube and there's, social media, there's people that have become very famous just through Twitter and Instagram and social
Crazy,
media.
dude.
So all this new opportunity has opened up more possibilities, so people are less stingy. And there's more of a sense of community for whatever reason,
yeah.
particularly in LA. LA has a very good sense of community. So even if you're not like the most business savvy, you could be around a lot of people like myself or like other people that are encouraging and that help and then tell everybody about their friends. And like, it's one of the cool things about comedy. Like you'll go to like Tom's page if someone else is doing something and it'd be like, hey, check out, Fultron. He's fucking hilarious. Check out Ian Edwards. By the way, Ian Edwards, he's at the Laughing Skull in Atlanta all this weekend.
Hilarious.
One of the best. One
So
of the best.
fucking funny.
I've been trying to figure, he's too fucking laid back. He's
Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, I mean when he talks, you're like, what? You're like, come on, pick it up, come on. He's like the opposite of me. He's vegan. He falls asleep constantly. That motherfucker will sit down, and in 5 minutes, he's out cold.
Oh no!
I took pictures of him on the plane the other day because we were flying to Vegas. It's a 40-minute flight. He's out cold.
He's not that lack of protein, dude.
It's a lack of vitamins for sure
His
because he
blood.
doesn't eat well. It's
No.
not. He does eat vegan. Look at him, out cold.
He is so funny.
But he definitely doesn't. He doesn't take any supplements. He doesn't like make sure that he has a complete balanced amino acid profile to his foods and like. And I was telling
I don't do
him,
that either, though.
yeah, but
That's a lot of work, Joe.
it is a lot of work. But that's how you want to do it if you want to be fucking jacked. But
Bro.
he said he would eat elk.
Good.
He said he would eat it because I killed it. You know, and
Yeah,
he knows
yeah.
where it came from, and it's not, factory farmed. He doesn't have to participate in the whole factory farm system. So I'm gonna cook him some meat. I'm gonna turn him.
We get okay.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put it on Instagram? I would love to see it.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna film that shit. I'm gonna have Jamie set up a camera with a tripod. The new studio
That'd
has
be rad.
a grill.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it has
Of course it has a
One
grill.
of those big iron Yoder pellet grills. It's fucking amazing. So
So you're moving on
next week. We'll be in there
Wow.
next week.
It's enormous.
It's Daddy's Playhouse.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's gonna be a good time. Can't wait. I'm very excited.
That's super cool.
But so we're gonna turn Ian when he gets over there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Why is he? Is it a moral thing?
It's a moral thing.
Yeah.
It's a health thing. It's a bunch. He was eating very poorly. He was eating like junk food and just bullshit food, pizza and burgers and stuff, and he felt like shit. And he made a decision for his health, and then along the way, he started examining the moral consequences of factory farming. And
Yeah.
Ian's just a really smart guy.
He is a smart guy.
Super smart. And just, again, Atlanta, Laughing Skull this weekend. He's one of the funniest guys alive. I just
And
worked
he's
with him.
So mellow too.
It's the mellowest.
You're like-
I've known Ian for, I want to say like 25 years.
Are you
We've been
serious?
Friends. Yeah, we've been friends. We've been friends since, the early 90s.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Where? When? How? 'Cause
New York.
Has he been a
Stand-up.
comic that long?
Yeah, he has. But
didn't know that.
what Ian did is Ian is a really good writer, and one of the things that happened along the way is he started getting a lot of jobs writing
Yes.
on television shows. And that happens to guys where they do that. It happened to Fitzsimmons, who's also one of the best comics alive. And they get distracted by other people's work, and then people don't realize how good they are at stand-up. If you get a chance to see Greg Fitzsimmons, he is one of the fucking best comics alive. And Greg and I started out literally a week apart from each other.
Are you serious?
Same club in Boston.
He's great. I love him.
He's best.
I just love, and he's a great human being too, and he's super funny.
He's super funny and super smart and just a sweetheart. He's just
He is.
and just ridiculous. He's so funny.
That's true about writing for other people, and because I wrote for cartoons for many years, and I do feel like it sucks your juice out of you, your voice. And then I worked on Chelsea for a minute and wrote on that show, and I was like, I can't do this anyway. You feel like you're cheating, your own voice. You wanna do your own
you're
shit.
working so much on other people's stuff and then not at all at your own stuff. And then all of a sudden your thing is done and you're behind.
Yeah.
Instead of like at the same spot you were when you started, you're behind. Because you don't even know your act anymore. You got to go over your material. You're not really working anymore.
It's not in your conscious. It's not always there. Was it Louis C.K. that was talking about when he was a writer on was it The Tonight Show or something, I want to say? He was a writer on one of the big late night shows, and he got it pretty young too, and he was like, this is the best job I could ever hope for, and I think I'm going to hate myself if I stay here because, I know I want to be a comic. I know somewhere that there's something out there I need to be doing. So it's like this gilded cage of being a writer.
Yeah, well, it's also
sure.
being on a sitcom will do that. Being on a sitcom did that to me, for
Really?
sure. Oh,
you
yeah.
felt like you weren't doing your full potential.
I was working all day, and then I was still doing sets at night, but I wasn't writing any new material at all. I was
Yeah.
just doing the same set over and over again, and I started to suck. I started having some hard sets. And one night, the writers came to see me, and I went up late at the Comedy Store and ate a platter of dicks. Just a full, like someone getting married, where they bring over the hors d'oeuvres. I ate every dick on the tray. And I just realized, like, I've become a bad comic. Like, I used to be good when I was young, and then I got this show, and then over the course of the 5 years that I was on the show, my act deteriorated, and I realized, like, I got to get back on the horse. And because of that one bombing set, like a year and a half later, something like that, I got my first album that I did on Warner Brothers.
Oh, wow.
That was like 10 years into comedy. So the whole thing was like a velvet cage, you know? Like, it's like, oh, this is it. I've made it. Everything's going to be beautiful now. But it's not, because you're not doing your thing.
You're not doing your thing. And it's funny. Someone asked me, like, well, what do you want to do, Christina? What do you want to do? And I was like, I'm kind of fucking doing it. Like, the podcasting world is amazing. Stand-up's great. Like, I'm doing it.
Could you imagine a show that gives you the kind of freedom that your podcast has?
Never. Do you know how many fucking dumb meetings we'd have to have with the higher-ups about, you can't say jeans, you can't talk about mommies, you can't...
Look, we've got a survey, and people don't understand what jeans is. You're calling each other jeans. Like, I don't mind if you do it once. Just don't do it every show.
And the moose soup lady, what's that about? And the thing, and I don't want to I don't like answering to people for stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't like the notes, the
Could
ridiculous
you imagine
notes.
if you had some douchey, unfunny producer that was telling you guys how to do your show?
Oh, and that's what it can be. Yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How many times you can say one thing or yeah, it's the worst, dude. When you were an actor, when you acted on that show, would you get lines that you were just like, I can't, how do I?
No.
I can't.
No, not on news radio. Because news radio was so good, and the writers were so good, and the guy who ran it, Paul Sims, the executive producer, the creator of the show, he was a genius. And one of the things that was brilliant about him, he's still alive, still a genius. One of the things that's brilliant about him is he let everybody ad-lib. Like, Dave Foley was like almost like the secret producer of that show.
I love Dave Foley.
He's amazing. But because he was on news radio right after Kids in the Hall, like he did Kids in the Hall, where he's one of the primary writers, he's a really good writer. So he would see, like, you know, the thing is, have you ever been on a sitcom before? You ever worked on a sitcom?
No.
One of the things you do a run-through. So you do a table read where you go down, everybody sits down, you go over the lines, you find out what's funny, everybody laughs. The writers will go back to the writing room, they tweak stuff a little bit, and then you go to the floor and you run it. And so what you do in a run-through is you start off, okay, we're at scene here in the break room, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, maybe it just doesn't work. Maybe it seems like it worked, but it doesn't work. And Dave would be the guy that goes, Andy, why don't we try this? Like, Vicky, why don't you walk in here, and Andy, you walk in at the same time, and you guys both say the same thing at the same time, and then, you know, he'll like come up with like a whole new scenario to get this point across to move us into the next scene. And he would do that in front of the producers, and they would go, love it, perfect, let's go with that. And so they'd rewrite the scene and put Dave's lines in. And I swear to God, that might have happened 40% of the time.
Wow.
So if you see that show, like maybe 40% of the scenes at least were tweaked by Dave Foley.
That's bananas. And did he get the punch-up credit? And
he got money. So I don't think he got punch-up credit. But that was the thing, is like everybody was just working to do. But oddly enough, Phil Hartman did zero of that. Phil Hartman was just like stick to the script and kill it. But his character was such a beautiful character to write for. This sort of obtuse, ridiculous guy who was just completely, you know, just didn't get it and was like full of himself, and he was so good at playing that character that they would just nail his character, and he would just go out and smash it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was a little too young when that show came out and didn't get to see it, but Phil Hartman, holy shit, right?
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah.
Fucking crazy. I like Rodney Dangerfield, and did you ever hear that Back to School when he got that script? It was kind of a turd, and the story goes that he took it and he wrote jokes in all the margins, and then go and send it back to the studio, and they were like, this is hilarious, can we make this movie? He's like, yeah, you could pay me whatever, $10,000 a joke, and I'll fucking do it that way. Like, that's awesome, dude. Like, that's how fucking Dave Foley should have been. Like,
well, I think that's what Kevin Hart does with movies, where like he has a negotiation for the movie, right? They say, we'll give you X amount of $1 million to the movie. And they go, but we want you to promote it on your social media. We want you to put it on your Twitter and your Instagram. He's like, ho, 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 ho.
Yeah.
That's a different deal.
Yeah.
Like, this is all my thing. I built that up. Like, if you want that, you got to give me more money for that.
That's what's up, Kevin Hart.
And then they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. But if the movie does well, no. This is your motherfucking movie. You're giving me money. So if you want me to promote it on my Instagram, my social media, like that's a business. He's built up a promotional business. I love it. Yeah, that guy's a genius when it comes to that shit.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Why not?
Why not?
You should be compensated for that. That's your following.
Especially him. That's his whole deal.
So unbelievable.
I mean, most of what he became because of his Comedy Central special and then relentless social media stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah, massive at it. And obviously he's really funny.
Super funny.
I mean, if you don't have talent, he's one of the rare guys that has talent and he's really good at promotion. Whereas most of the people that are like really, like there's a lot of people that are good at promotion, but they're not talented.
Right. You need to have some kind of meat for the bone. Yeah. You know who was great at that though? I mean, the OG gangster of it was Dane Cook. If you think back to, was it even like Friendster or MySpace? Yeah. I mean, he started it. He was the first dude.
He became famous through social media.
It's crazy.
The first guy ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but you have to have that in you, I guess.
I remember reading a People magazine article. I was at the dentist. And there was a People magazine article that said that Dane had 250,000 MySpace followers. And I was like, what?
What?
I was like, that's insane. It wasn't followers, it was friends, right?
Oh, right. Oh, my God.
Oh, I've got so many friends I don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And you're like, 250, I don't even, who even knows that many people?
You know what's really crazy is that MySpace just evaporated.
It did.
That's what's really, but it's weird.
It's what, like, though? What took Facebook took its place, right?
Yes.
Is that what that?
But MySpace is still there. Like, Jamie, go to MySpace.
Yeah.
Let's see what it
my
looks
profile
like.
still there?
Look at it. Taylor
Oh
Swift.
my God, it is.
Ed Sheeran. Watch Miley Cyrus perform on Carpool Karaoke.
Oh my God. People love that car karaoke shit.
No, people, not normal people. No one that's healthy.
I can't watch. All this shit sucks. Why does everything suck?
It doesn't necessarily all suck, but a lot of it sucks.
A lot of it. I mean, I'm on the Apple TV. I try to find stuff. I'm like, this is so fucking stupid.
The only thing that's interesting about that is that they're actually in a car and they're actually driving.
Right.
They let him drive? He's driving.
How do they film that?
They filmed with GoPros and shit. Like, this is MySpace. But this is so strange. It's like, who's on this motherfucker? Who's going? Now it's like a news site. Like, who are the people? See if I'm on it still.
There's Liz. She's a musician. Oh, there's Iggy Azalea.
I tried to delete my page a long time ago and they wouldn't let me. It might still be there.
You're a lifer.
Oh, look at these comedians. I know all of them. These guys are top. Who the fuck are these people?
You don't know.
Look at that guy with the hair.
Come on.
Look at that guy with the hair.
I know.
I went to see him. I'd be super upset if he didn't shave
Did
his
you
head.
take funny comedy pictures ever in the beginning of your career?
Oh, the wackiest.
Yeah.
I took the stupidest picture ever. I had a fake mugshot picture with lipstick kisses on my face. I think I tried to like put a bra on my head too, but it was so dumb.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. I had a business card. Did you ever do that?
I never had a business card. I don't think. I don't think I did.
And I had it was a picture of me at 4 years old, like making a funny face.
Ah, that's actually cute.
Yeah, it's like it's painful. It's so embarrassing.
Do you have a headshot now?
Now.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Well,
I need to get one.
Yeah.
People keep saying, "Hey, will you sign a picture for somebody?" I'm like, "You have a picture for me?"
I took one 20 years ago.
I don't have any pictures, man. You know, those like you used to have pictures at the comedy clubs. Coming next week, and you put up a headshot. I don't even have one.
What do they put up of you?
I have no idea.
Just like
they just find some shit online, they print it, they put it up.
But see, that's how I feel now. Like, come on, man, I'm online. Print that shit out.
Yeah,
you
print
find
that shit out, bitch.
Yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, you don't need to have my name at the bottom of it.
No,
Get the fuck out of it. You can write that.
Come on. Yeah, right. Take a fucking Sharpie, dude.
It is the headshot thing was always a big deal in Boston because in Boston there was like the old guard. There's these guys that had been around forever that were like the top dogs in like the local scene. Those guys were like, if you have a headshot, you probably fucking suck. Like no one ever worked on their headshot.
Kind of true.
Yeah, like the young guys would all have like these new fancy headshots. The old guys, they didn't have anything. They would just murder.
That's so
like
true.
Steve Sweeney playing at the Kowloon restaurant. He just murder. No headshot. Try to find a headshot of him. It's fucking faded. You got to pull it out of a window. It was sitting there from the late 80s.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Whoever had their shit together most as an open micer was definitely the unfunniest. Like,
well, there was a bunch of. Do you remember? It probably wasn't around when you were around, but there was a thing called the Comedy USA Industry Guide. No. When I first started out, there was a thing called the Comedy USA Industry Guide, and they would send it out to all the industry. And I was always like super in awe of the guys that had a big page, and like a lot of it was like college acts. Like a college act back then was the pinnacle. That's what you wanted to be. You want to be a college act. Because if you were a college act, you could make like $1,000 a college or $2,000 a college. Like, holy shit. And you would think about, oh my God, I could do 2 colleges on a weekend and make $4,000.
Crazy.
This is insane. And I knew guys who were doing it. I knew guys who would like, man, you should clean your act up so you could do colleges. They would all say that.
Favorite. That was the best when I started too. It was, you got to work clean. You got to, otherwise you're not going to get on the Tonight Show. You're not going to get on the thing. And then the internet happened, and everybody was like, fuck you and you're clean. You know, there's different outlets now. You don't need to, you know, there's cable, there's this, there's that. It's just not the same.
You know what's really gross too? The mediocre comic that suppresses the talented guys that are coming up. You ever seen those guys that like tell you what to do and what not to do?
Yes.
Oh, there was this one guy who was the host of like open mic night in Boston at the time, and he was aggressively mediocre. His act was horrible. But he was like, you would go on stage, and even if you killed, even if you had a good set, he would shit on the fact that you had to swear. You broke the fuck meter. You were up there breaking the fuck meter. Like, what? Like, you know, you can't do that on TV. There's going to be a lot of guys that are on TV, and they're going to be on TV, and you're going to be back here doing the same jokes, saying the fuck word all the time. Like, what? And I was like, well, what about like the comics I like Andrew Dice Clay or Sam Kinison? I got news for you, man. You're not Dice Clay.
Yeah.
Like,
they have to remind you where you are on the totem pole.
Yeah, but I was like, well, somebody's Dice Clay.
Dude.
Like, this is not good advice.
No.
You know?
I remember being told, back to with comedy, I think right now for female comics, I feel like right now there's a particular dichotomy between like the Madonna whore thing, like either you're, you know, young and hot and you're talking about like sexual stuff, or like you're me, you're like a fucking mom. I'm talking about mom stuff. It's different. It's not like you could be just a person. I don't think so right now. But
why do you think that? Because I think you can. I think anybody can be a person if you just own it.
You can. I don't know.
You just
the
don't see
marketing.
it.
I think it's the marketing, and I think it's just marketing.
See, I just think you're not seeing it. It's not that it can't be done. I think people look at archetypes, right? They look at like something that's already been carved out. Like Sarah Silverman, she's pretty and she talks dirty. I can do that. I've seen that. And you see like these, you know, Patrice O'Neill used to call them babies. Like, I got a lot of babies in comedy. Like, you know, these are but Dave Attell got a lot of comedy babies.
Right.
And Dave Attell had a ton of comedy babies because people would imitate what they saw that was successful.
Right.
You saw that thing and you go, oh, I know that. I can do like that. I can talk like Dave. And so there's these people that sort of like imitated his cadence and his rhythm, and like some of them egregiously. Like some of them, you're like, Jesus Christ, you're like borderline a thief.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You know?
But I think too, it's easier for the audience to identify a woman as, this is the one I have sex with, or this is mommy. No, I'm serious, and I don't even mean this as like a woe is me, like blah, blah. Like it just I feel it is either there's women that you fuck, and then there's women that are off limits, that are somewhat maternal. At least that's my experience in the comedy world, hanging out with dudes. It was like the best thing that ever happened to me was hooking up with Tom Segura, because it put like a magical lasso of
your off limits.
Yeah, unfuckability. And
right.
I immediately
you could
became
be one of the friends.
Yes. I became a off limits. I became a person, and it was great. Like, and I find that as I get older and become more like less, the fuckability stuff goes down. I really like it. I really like just being a human. Where I was gonna fucking go with this?
No, I know what you're saying, but do you think this is all in your own head?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All reality is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we all living in our own?
Yeah, because
heads?
like a lot of the like these archetypes that everybody sort of claims are inescapable. Like then you'll see someone that doesn't fit into that at all, and you go, oh, well, I didn't see that coming. You know?
Well, I'm trying to think of like the big female comics, and they're usually either one or the other, right? It's either mommy or...
What about Ellen?
Very asexual, right?
Yeah.
She's neither.
She's like, she's got short hair, and she probably eats a ton of pussy, right? If you had to guess.
I would love...
Does she eat any... Maybe she just gets hers eaten now.
I would...
She
that's
puts
right.
her feet up, she gets her toes done, and she just gets her box eaten.
That's right. I would love to hear her talk about eating pussy. That would be like my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, I wonder wonder if she makes a face
I don't know, dude.
when she eats pussy. Maybe she goes like this.
You know, she. She came
or
up
maybe
at
she
a
goes like
time.
this. Maybe she's super gross about it.
I think she's super gross. I think it's the people that are super one way publicly, maybe privately. Maybe she's a real bitch. You know?
I've always thought about that about comedians. You know,
Especially the nicey nice ones.
well,
Always like,
not just the nicey nice ones, but the over the top like defenders of women that turn out to be super pervy.
Always.
We know a few of those.
Always.
They get busted after a while. Yeah. Like like there's people that you can trust. Like you know where you stand with Joey Diaz.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. I love Joey Diaz,
Yeah.
and I trust him because I know that's it. Like I don't trust male comics that don't talk about their dicks or jerking off or pussy and stuff. Because you're like, yeah, what's the fucking, what
Where's
are you
the
hiding?
darkness?
Yeah, where's your the shadow self or whatever as they say. If you're not addressing the darkness comes out elsewhere, right? The darkness.
The darkness.
It comes out other places.
Yeah, like I always wonder what Jim Gaffigan's freak shit is. He's so clean.
I don't know. He might be the exception to the
He
rule.
might be, right? Because he's so nice.
Family Guy.
Yeah.
I think he really likes being a family. I don't sense that shit from him. But Cosby, that was a surprise. Yeah.
Was it though? Did you ever hear the rumors?
No.
See, I did. In show business circles, because briefly I lived in the actors world, right? When I was on news radio, and I would hear it.
Yeah.
I would hear it back then that he would drug people.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, you would hear it. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like one of those weird rumors that would go around. Bill Cosby drugs people.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, it was going on forever. That's why Hannibal talked about it.
Nice.
When Hannibal talked about it on stage, and then it all blew up, which is kind of crazy if you know Hannibal. You know, because he just happened to be talking about it. And then someone happened to be filming it, and then the rest of the world was like, is that true? Is that true? Because Bill Cosby is always telling people to not swear. Especially like, he was big on telling young black comedians not to swear, not to talk about sex. And he goes, Bill Cosby always telling that? Well, at least I'm not raping people. And everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
What did he
he?
say? Raping? Wait, what? What? But that was like, the rumor was always around.
Yeah. I'd heard some a little creepiness, but I didn't know, but it was that extent.
When someone does something like that to people, like that's one of the creepiest fucking things a human can do to another human.
Yeah.
And the idea that this guy who was America's father, right? In a lot of ways, he was our black dad. You know, he was the moral authority. He was
your black dad.
He was Mr. Huxtable.
Yeah.
You know, and then the fact that guy, someone described him as the biggest serial rapist in the history of America. Like, that really might be the case. Because if he really did drug all these people that he said he did, like, how many people have raped more? He might be number one, which is
crazy.
Insane to think.
It's crazy. And the whole time with their hipping and the hopping and the nonsense. Yeah. And he's the darkest motherfucker ever.
Darkest.
Dark.
Just drugging them, watching them pass out.
That's fucking...
and he's got kids.
I know.
Which is even more fucked up.
The crazy part when
he's
you have
drugging
children.
Someone else's baby and sticking his dick in them while they're unconscious.
It's so evil. It's evil. Now, what about Harvey Weinstein?
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oofa. And he's one everyone knew about too, apparently.
Apparently. Yeah. That's the cliche, right? The disgusting boss of the studio that wants you to suck his dick in order to get a role.
I know.
Right?
It's funny because you do think like, well, isn't that kind of why you become like a show business executive, like to get chicks, not to rape chicks. Sexual assault is always off the table, but
did he rape them or did?
Now it's coming out that there's rape. Last I checked today, I know he is not a looker. Like he's definitely
he looks
not
like
cute.
the type of guy that would be the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
Which is what's fucked up.
Oh, he's so
Suicide
nasty.
threat prompts police response. Whoa.
Oh, we're there, huh?
Got into a fight with his daughter this morning, and she called the 911.
Damn.
Because he was going to
homie.
kill himself?
I don't know.
Well, he must be so overwhelmed with guilt and fear and remorse and just self-hatred. And, he sounds like an addict.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that he's also probably a power addict. Like he's this guy who's like this gluttonous man. Like if you look at his physical self, right? His face is overflowing on his his collar, and he's just gluttonous. Like, more food. Where's the Coke?
Pussy.
Pussy money.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yes.
like there's this gluttonous existence.
Yeah.
It's not like a measured, thought out, contemplative, introspective existence where he's just trying to enjoy his time here. Like, wow, how lucky I am that I get to do this and make these amazing movies. You guys are all great. Like, that's what I expect from like Steven Spielberg.
Right.
I expect Steven Spielberg to be like this really like introspective, thoughtful guy who's
Right.
just enjoying the process of making amazing movies.
Right.
But
this guy.
But he's a creative thing. Harvey's an executive guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy, the money guy behind everything, and Coke and caviar and suck my dick. You know, it's like
It is so nasty.
it's so gross.
But okay, now on the other hand, I was like, you know, Hollywood is such a labyrinth in terms of like getting shit done and getting deals closed and how this happen. It would kind of be nice to be like, you want a Netflix special? Just go fucking suck that guy's dick. And then I could be like, oh, that's all I have to do is suck that guy's? Yeah, come over here, you nasty fuck. And then there's your special, right? Way easier.
Would you have to have a conversation with Tommy? Listen, Tommy,
Yeah.
this is not sex.
Yeah, this is
a job.
Yeah.
It's work.
Right. And then it's like cut and dry and it's an exchange. You know,
Right.
I was in law school for 2 weeks and I remember
2 weeks?
2 weeks and I dropped out. In contract law, it's an exchange of something for something else.
Right.
Seems fucking pretty straightforward.
Well,
Like,
that's
yeah.
what prostitution is, right?
Yeah.
Which is one of the weirdest things, that massage is legal, but prostitution isn't.
Isn't that something?
It is odd because we do not like genital pleasure. We
No.
don't like genital pleasure for cash. Like, genital pleasure has to be for love. It has to be love.
Right.
And it has to be given free. It's the only thing in civilization that we require to be given away for free. Everything else you can exchange money for.
It's
You
so
can
interesting.
Exchange money for food, right? It's not prostitution if someone cooks for you,
Right.
That's normal. It's a total normal
Right.
thing. But it's a very intimate thing. Feeding someone.
Yes,
Right?
yes, of course,
You
it's
can
love.
go to a hair salon, they'll wash your head.
Yep.
They give you a head massage. It
That's
feels
the
so good.
best.
That's one thing I miss about having hair. They rub my head.
It's the best
right?
feeling in the
Like
world.
a head massage. Or a foot massage. People love foot massages.
I know.
I bet there's people out there that like foot massages more than they like head.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
For sure.
Right?
But then you put a camera in front of two people fucking.
It's totally legal.
And now it's legal.
You can pay them.
So what's...
We're retarded.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
We're babies.
Yeah.
We're grown-up babies.
But maybe because you can commodify that and that's a capitalistic thing. Maybe
Well,
it's more commodifiable as a product. Is
honestly,
that the
I
thinking?
think there's two factors. One is the tax factor. It's very difficult to get taxes from people that are prostitutes. Right? It's like no, none of that. Where's that money going?
Yeah.
Give us our cut.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the sex trafficking, sex slavery aspect, like protecting people that are sex traffickers. Because, like, you know, you could have someone that was sold into sex slavery or, you know, in some way bartered their, you know, trip to America and had some sort of a sex slave deal. That's where it gets fucked up. But there's been arguments that what makes that exist in the first place is that prostitution is illegal here.
Yes.
And that if prostitution was legal, it would be that stuff would all go away, much like the argument is with illegal drugs. Like if you made marijuana legal, you wouldn't have as much of the Mexican drug, illegal trade, which you are seeing. You know, you are seeing in America.
Of course, it's retarded. And but with Harvey, he was the guy that would give girls the shoulder rubs.
He would tell them to massage him.
He
would massage them. They would massage him. He would do, according to these girls, I don't know if
Shoulder
it's true, but he'd be the guy that'd be, I'll be right back. And he comes back in a bathrobe. He's the bathrobe guy.
It's so fucked
But
up.
here's the thing. I don't mean to make light of anybody's sexual assault or whatever it was, or harassment. But they're working on the roof again.
Damn.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. How many women said yes?
That's
Probably a fuckload. Like that was
Yes.
his move. What we're seeing is his missed pitches.
right.
Right? He hit
Right.
a lot of fucking triples and home runs, knocked a lot of balls out of the park, but
Yep.
occasionally he was whiffing. Occasionally he was like, I got this one in the back, boys. And she's like, fuck off, you pig. And he's like, oh, come on, just come back to my room. No. It's like, shit. That one.
I know.
What happened, Harvey? Oh, it just wasn't connecting. I wasn't connecting. But listen, I got all this. There's a girl who wants to be in the next fucking this movie and Avatar 16 and
Right. And she's willing to do the thing to
Yeah.
get the part. And that's kind of, okay, yeah, then suck that guy's dick and get the part and get your money and get on with it.
How many girls read the story when it broke and could still taste the asparagus caviar flavored cum? Just the cocaine and the vodka in his loads. Just I bet he has like a phlegmy like moan when he comes.
He's the kind of guy that has
Sleep
the
apnea.
white spittle in the corners of his mouth
yeah.
when he talks to you.
It's like he's trying to hit on you. He's got a little white
Yes.
spit bubble on his lip.
Oh, he's nasty.
He's nasty.
Nasty.
But
as hell.
that's a gluttonous man.
Yeah,
right?
he's out of control. It's not attractive. It's definitely not. Oh, my favorite too is that he would jerk off into. Did you hear this? That he
Into plants, right?
It's just so fucking weird. Like,
Well, he's green. He wants him to exist off of his loads.
but that's such a desperate thing. Like, come over, can I have it? No, okay, stay here then. Let me, like it's so.
Maybe he was hoping they would just dive on the grenade.
Thank
Trying to
you.
save a soldier.
Thank you. But I and also like I was thinking too, like I've seen so many dudes jerking off in public, like homeless guys.
Yeah.
I never got anything for it. Is it,
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, look, just
Come on.
here's the thing about male sex versus female sex, right? Is the accepting part of female sex versus the giving, like trying to take this, take it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that men
Take it.
literally are constantly building cum.
Yeah.
Like while you're
Yep.
alive,
Yep.
your cum is backing up.
Yep.
So if you're not like I used to have the bit in my act that it was really based on advice that I used to give friends when they're like, oh, I don't know, a girl wants to get married. I go, listen, mate, jerk off first and then think about it. Like if you're having a hard time with someone and you don't know what to do and you're gonna see them, jerk off first and then see them, and then you'll be able to deal with them without any sexual lust. You won't be making. Because me as a young man, this is a real issue with me when I was in my 20s because I was so horny. It was like I was a drug addict. So I would be like making agreements with myself. Yeah, she's annoying, but she's gonna let me have sex with her. So listen, let's just change our behavior and mold to what she likes, and then you'll get to fuck her, because that's what you need. Like otherwise, you just be beaten off. But I remember one time I was supposed to go out with this girl, and she was just so preposterously annoying. It was so frustrating. She just was always negative. And before I went to go get her, I jerked off. And I was sitting there, I was going, what am I doing? Like, I don't even enjoy her company. Like, she's not compatible with me. Like, I don't, if you just like someone as a person and you like having sex with them, that's a relationship.
Yes.
But if you only like having sex with them, you have some sort of a weird barter deal. And that's a lot of men. A lot of men get in, and I'm sure a lot of women probably too, but I can only speak for men. Like, men get involved in these relationships where you're really just in a relationship so that you have a continuous supply of sex. Especially when you're young and stupid. When you're 20 years old, you're basically a monkey. You know, you're just like a little ape person just trying to fuck, and you're just trying, I love her, she's really cool. And why do you love her? Because she smells good, because her tits feel good in your mouth? Like, what is really going on here?
Right.
Like, do you actually enjoy her company as a human being outside of sex?
Doesn't matter.
Right. Most of the time you don't. And so if you could just jerk off first and then hang out with someone and you actually like them, like, then you have a real relationship. Like, oh, I really like you. I like you.
Yeah, you clear out the pipes,
Yeah.
right? You clear out the testosterone, and now you can just think clearly.
Yeah.
It's super smart.
But I'm just guessing. I've never been a media mogul, but I would imagine there's a bunch of factors going on. First of all, there's a bunch of people that are constantly kissing his ass and rubbing us. Like, I saw a picture of him with Renee Zellweger. And Renee Zellweger was like cuddling up with him, and she had her hand on him, and he had his arm on her, and there was like some other celebrity to his right, and they were like yucking it up. But he was like paw in her. He had a hold of her. And I would imagine that there's all these people that recognize that he's this like epicenter of power and success. And you want Harvey Weinstein of Miramax to love you. And you would get close to him and you have a couple of drinks and you're doing coke together. Yeah, look at that. She's got her hand on his leg.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And he's got Russell Crowe to his right and Renee Zellweger to his left. And she's smiling. They're probably hammered. And everyone's on Xanax. Next thing you know, he's got his dick in her butt.
That's crazy, dude. And she's
I'm
like,
just imagining that
Bridget
happen.
Jones' Diary number 2.
Number 6. Coming
Great.
up. Yeah,
Fine with me.
I don't know if that really happened.
No, I
but
don't either.
My point is that it's not just that he was predatory. It was also that he lived, I'm just guessing, okay? I'm not an apologist, folks. But I would imagine that he lived in this world where he was like royalty. He was essentially like the king of this empire, right? So he had all these employees. There's one of the articles that I read today, I think it was from the Telegraph, where this guy was saying that he was at a party, or one of his friends was at a party, and they were having a conversation with this girl who worked for Harvey. And Harvey just said her name from across the room, and her face went pale, and she immediately just ran away from him to run to her. Like, didn't say, excuse me, I'll be right back, just ran out of fear. Who knows? That is obviously, it could be interpretation after the fact.
Right.
It could be exaggeration of what the actual circumstances were to fit a narrative. But you got to imagine that this guy is just multi-millionaire, just orgiastic, gluttonous Jabba the Hutt motherfucker, just getting his dick sucked and just we're gonna be the biggest ever. And then there's also these girls that he can't get, and he's like close to them,
and
that's
that's the anger, right?
Hey, listen, Christina, I
Yeah.
think you're the one that you've got his hand on you. Listen, I think you're one of the best. One of the best.
Right.
Come into my room. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I've got a proposal. You come up to his room and he's got a bathrobe on. You're like, what? He's like, just give me a massage. My neck is tense. You like Coke? What about caviar? What about Coke and caviar? You ever have Coke and caviar together?
So gross. He is unbelievably him. And I have to say, and I know Hugh Hefner was a big mogul and he did a lot of cool shit. Not for me, that would be a tough gig too. Like living in the mansion and being one of the girls, like, come over for movie night, and he's in his pajamas, and you know that he butt sexed them because he didn't want to get anyone pregnant. So
That
like
true?
that's what I read. And what is it? Holly Madison wrote a book. Is that her fucking name?
Yeah.
Dolly Madison's the pastry. Like, who the fuck is
He butt sexed them so that they didn't have to worry about birth control?
That's correct. And then there's a lot of like he would make the girls make out in front of him, and then he would masturbate too. It's also kind of, I think, is a way of avoiding possible pregnancies.
Wow. So
And,
he probably developed a strategy over years of like ducking pregnancies. Wow, that's a weird thing too, right? To like be putting yourself out there as this person with a lot of money who really likes young girls, and the young girls go, all I have to do is catch one load.
That's all you have to do at the right time.
I've heard stories about athletes that girls put holes in the condoms, or the girls take the condoms out of the trash and squirt them into their pussy. Imagine, how was I born, Mommy? You were born.
Well, it's a lovely story.
Your mommy took a condom, like one of them pastry bags, and squirted that fucker in there.
Well, your mother fished a filthy condom out of the trash.
Well, I threw it in the toilet. I pretended to throw it in the toilet, but I had one saved in my mouth. I spit that one in the toilet, and that's why you're alive.
Wild. But then I heard that the Playboy Mansion, she wrote that it was run down, and they had like bunk beds and shit in the rooms, and like it wasn't as glamorous as everybody
I can attest
would
to
let
that.
believe.
'Cause I was there
you've
for
been
Fear
there.
Factor. Yeah,
Oh,
we did a
okay.
Fear Factor Playmate edition, and I was like, this is it?
I got to go see that episode.
The grotto was they were the people that worked there were very nice. The girls were very nice. But there's a thing that you're experiencing where it's like they don't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
So it's like it's an option for them to be a part of this. And some of them loved it, for sure. Some of them, it was what they wanted. And for some of them, there's like a sadness to it. It's like, and it's also some of them, when we did Fear Factor, like some of them were like older playmates. Like they've been playmates like 10 years ago or 15 years
So
ago.
they were like pushing 30?
Yeah, and maybe even older. And then they're like, what am I going to do soon? Like, what am I going to do in 5 years? What am I going to do in 10 years? And then there's not a lot of answers on the horizon. So they'll, go looking for maybe some old rich husband type character or maybe some way out financially, maybe some business they can start, some clothing line. Like everyone's got a hustle and a scam, but they essentially don't really have a career. They have like this sort of like opening into this world, and then they would have the mansion parties, right? Which I went to one for the Marijuana Policy Project. I hosted this event. And it was just very weird. It's like they have bands playing and stuff, and you're just walking around and there's pot everywhere and everyone's stoned out of their mind. It was extra surreal because of the pot factor. But like you go by like where he had pets, it's like birds and monkeys and shit. Like, what the fuck is this place? Like, everybody's high as fuck. But it's just and there was no playmates for that one. That was weird because that was one of the ones you rent out. And so a lot of these lecherous guys went there. They go to the mansion.
You rent out.
They rented it
like
out.
Suites
No,
in the.
no, they rent out the use of the mansion.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can use the grotto. You can come in the grotto where everyone else comes. Like
Yes.
the general public comes there too.
If you
That's
want to
kind of
jerk
nice.
off in the grotto. I don't know if they actually let people in the grotto when I was there. I don't remember. It was quite a long time ago, but I do remember like the grotto had this phone from like the 1970s.
Of course it did.
This old ass fucked up phone. Like, but you got to think like the upkeep on a place like that is probably super expensive. There's the phone. Look at that old whack ass phone and all the buttons for the lights and shit.
And he wasn't going to put money into renovating that shit because he was old. He was like, I'm dying. Who cares?
Well, I also
90.
think there wasn't money. I don't think that the mansion, the mansion was like a location that actually made money, right? Because it was like a destination and they would rent it out for stuff. But I don't think the magazine was making money. I think the magazine was really struggling.
Once the internet happened and you can get pornography for free.
Yeah.
And you can actually see everything.
See the whole thing.
Yeah, why buy Playboy? Like I can see pubic hair, big deal. Like,
did you see when they took nudity out for like a whole year?
What are you talking about? They did?
Yes.
Why?
Because they were getting crazy. They're like, we're going to be Maxim.
Oh, like
we're
a lad
just
mag.
Show girls.
Yeah. Okay. Who cares?
Yeah, they did for a little while. It's just the sales tanked.
Yeah.
They crashed even further.
Of course. Maxim's Max. Did you know on a military base in the British ones that they let them look at titty mags? Like they can get Maxim magazine and stuff. Not
Is that weird?
The American military does not allow you to look at titty mags and stuff.
Well, the American military has a very high rate of sexual assault. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I do know that. I've been to the Middle East, Afghanistan, and a lot of those bases, and I've heard bad stories.
It's apparently a giant issue.
Yes.
That is very suppressed. Because you're not dealing with like law in terms of like civilian law. You're dealing with like military law.
Right.
So I don't know what the real numbers are, but I've read quite a few stories about that's a real issue. And if you don't give them an outlet, you know, and you have a bunch of people who are watching their friends' heads get blown up.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, your whole reality is out the window when you're at war. And I'm not excusing anyone for sexual assault, but I'm saying, like, the world that you're living in at home, and then you are in Afghanistan and bullets are whizzing by your head.
Yeah, dude.
Who knows what these they're kids, right? Who knows what the fuck they learned back home? Who knows what their situation is? Who knows if they got into the army as some sort of a parole deal?
Right.
That happens with a lot of guys as well. I know guys that had to go in the army or go to jail.
Yes, I heard that in the Navy. They take a lot. That they used to do those deals a lot.
Yeah, they did those deals.
It's kind of good though. I mean, when you think about it, I would choose military over prison.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, good. Put me on the boat. I don't know if I go to jail.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think because I was in Kuwait, I think, and they were talking about, guys coming out of active battle, and they're just so whacked out, and I think that's what happens when they assault women and stuff. They don't.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You also have PTSD. You also have CTE, which leads to impulsive behavior.
What's CTE? I don't even know what that is.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Encephalopathy? And what's the actual word?
Encephalopathy.
Encephalopathy.
Yeah.
It's brain damage.
Oh my God.
Essentially, it's what football players get, what boxers get, MMA fighters get it. People with head injuries. And one of the things that is a part of that is that you get impulsive and you do irrational things, thoughtless things, and almost like you can't help yourself. And They think that it's responsible for erratic changes in behavior, violent behavior amongst athletes that have it, especially football players. You see like some of the like really aggressive, fucked up things that football players have done. Like they attribute some of it to CTE. Yeah.
That's terrible.
We Are the NFL in 1962. Researchers say the professional bull rider killed himself at CTE.
Came out today because
yeah,
a story going on.
Of course, you're riding a fucking 2,000-pound monster animal. You have his balls tied up in a knot.
Have you ever done like the military stuff during in an active war zone?
No.
It's fucking. I went to Afghanistan a few years ago, like in 2007 or something. I can't do it again. I was so. It's just so. It's so nutty. You're right, and it's boys. It's like 19-year-old boys that are just getting blown up, stepping on IEDs. Like I go visit boys in hospitals with shrapnel in their faces, and the crazy part is the guys that are injured, they feel bad that they're not out fighting next to their, fighting with their company or whatever. They feel guilty that they're not still out there, and you're like, oh my God.
Have you ever read Sebastian Junger? You ever read any of his stuff?
No.
He's got a great book called Tribe, and it's a lot of it is about what happens to people in times of war. And what happens to soldiers, the camaraderie that they share together, and that even though it's these harrowing, death-filled moments of their life, that when they look back at it, it was their favorite time of life.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because people apparently, a lot of people believe this, that people without extreme struggle don't find meaning in life, and that the dull, gray, cubicle life, stuck in traffic, eating fast food, watching TV, going to sleep, like that is the torture.
Yes.
That's the torturous existence, not the existence of battle. And the camaraderie that they share when these soldiers are side by side fighting for their lives and defending each other. The camaraderie is incredibly intense.
And the emotions are incredibly high, I would imagine, too. That high stakes.
Yeah.
Your life is at stake, dude. And you have to take care of each other. And that's so true. There is nothing more depressing than the gray.
The gray is the worst.
The Sisyphean thing, like push the rock up and then the rock comes, like that.
Muzak, elevator music.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
The drone of a nothing existence.
Yeah.
It's just, that is what most people sell their time for. They sell their 8 hours every day plus commuting to the drone time.
Yeah.
Just droning on. And a lot of those people are listening to this right now. And one of the things about podcasts that's amazing for that is like people get a chance to hear the way other people live and think, and then realize like there is a way out. I am alive. I'm alive, and my brain is working, and I can think. And even though I'm stuck here because I have to pay my bills, this is not permanent. I need to figure out my exit strategy, and I need to start moving on it now. And they start doing that, and that's a huge factor in people's futures. To hear the fact that other people have been stuck. I don't know. You've been stuck. You've been stuck in shit jobs.
Hell yeah. I fucking did it. I had 22 jobs in 4 years when I graduated from college. Yeah. I had a fucking philosophy degree, and that was, totally useless. And I tried everything before I became a stand-up comedian. Name it, dude. Dog walker, parking attendant, production assistant. I worked in a cannery. I've done it
What's a cannery?
A cannery in Chatsworth. I worked in a cannery.
Like you make canned foods?
Like cans, like these like cans this? Here. Yeah, like Laverne and Shirley worked at the beer thing or whatever. I worked in a cannery, very, very short job. Because I wanted to know what the world was about. I didn't know what the world was about. And I didn't know that I just didn't fit in anywhere. I was a paralegal. I was an immigration paralegal, a corporate paralegal. And at the time you didn't need to have any kind of like accreditation. You just had to have an attorney say that you were. And so I just learned.
That's it?
It was fucking crazy. Yeah, pre-9/11.
So an attorney says, yep, here's your stamp.
You can be an immigration paralegal because I worked long enough. Not right now. Now you need to get a certification. Oh. Yeah.
I'm a minister.
You are?
Yeah, I'm an ordained minister.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's phenomenal.
I did it online.
You did? How long did it take?
5 minutes.
You training? Yeah.
There was no training.
Yeah, no, of course.
I think I sent in some money. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I married some people though.
You did?
Yeah, I married these two people that won Fear Factor. It's really nice couple. I married them.
That's nice of you to do. People ask us to marry them, and we're like, I don't know.
I would never do it again.
Yeah, right?
I've had people ask since then. I'm like, nope, I'm 1-0. And I think they're still together, so...
That's good.
Worked out, bitch.
But as an addendum to what you were just saying about that cubicle life, that gray life, and I don't know if this is a function of like turning 40 for me, but I've had this thing lately where I'm really acutely aware of my death. Like I've always been very existential. Like I've always loved thinking about my death because it frees me to be alive, you know?
Right.
But now at 40, I'm 41 and I'm like, I feel like I'm knocking on death's door. Like I get this weird thing of like, it's so short. Like you don't really have a lot of time on this planet. And it's really weighing on me now more, especially now that I have a child. And I'm like, I just want to stay alive to see my son grow up. But then you realize like, how much of your life are you going to fucking piss away doing shit you don't want to do? Working in the fucking cubicle job you don't want to have. Like you don't get many years. You don't get many great years, right?
Yeah.
When does your body start to really take a shit? Like 70?
When you're 70, you're fucking rough. 70's a rough thing. Like you have a lot of bad days, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I think one of the big keys, and this is very hard for people to imagine that don't enjoy exercise, is exercise is not an option. It's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's a necessity for body maintenance. So all these people that go, oh, I don't want to work out. Oh, I'd rather just, eat whatever I want and live while I live and, roll the dice and it'll be fine. No, it doesn't. You don't just have a heart attack and die. You slowly rot away and then your body gives out.
Yeah.
Like it's not a quick and easy process. It's not like the quality of your time is not the same. The quality of your time with exercise is far superior than the quality of your time without exercise because you're more relaxed, your body functions better, you're stronger, you can do things, you don't have to be helped in so many ways. Like there's a lot of people that can't even open up a jar of pickles. There's like their body is just not good. It's not working good. You don't want to be that person. I'm not saying you should be a bodybuilder, you should have a six-pack. You don't have to do that, but you should devote a certain amount of time per week for body maintenance, and you'll feel better. It'll give you better decision-making abilities. You'll be calmer. You'll be more removed from the stress of the everyday grind because your body is experiencing some stress, some workload, and by doing that and putting out that energy, it frees you.
Oh my gosh. Can I just tell you that I've met so many people on the road who come up to me and say, please tell Joe Rogan thank you because I lost 100 pounds because I've been listening to him. I lost 50 pounds. I started exercising because I've been listening to Joe and da-da-da. So just know that people totally listen to you and totally have changed their lives.
It's a lot of responsibility.
But yeah, I don't fucking like Pilates. I hate it. But to anybody listening that hates it the way I do, then pay somebody. Pay somebody who holds you accountable, and then you have to fucking show up. And they make you do it.
Just go. Don't even pay somebody. You know what? And here's the thing with people that don't have any money. If you can listen to this podcast, it means you have a computer, right? Hopefully. Mm-hmm. If you have a computer or if you have a phone, if you have a regular phone, like an iPhone or something like that, you can go on YouTube and you can play a yoga class. There's a ton of them.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay. I mean, hot yoga I think is better because it's like more strain in your body. But guess what? Regular yoga is fine. It's fucking great for you.
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah. It's all, and also for body weight exercises, I tell people that want to know kettlebell exercises. Like, yeah, if you can afford to have someone teach you how to do it correctly, that's good. But you can learn everything you want to learn on YouTube.
That's that amazing.
It's incredible.
I unclogged our drain one time.
From YouTube?
From YouTube. I was like, we didn't have any money, and the bathtub was full and fucked up, and I was like, I'm not going to pay some fucking guy to come here and just snake this thing, and then that's it. And I learned how to do it. I went down the hardware store, got the thing,
I got one of those once. I got one of them power snakes.
Yeah.
Where you press the button.
Yeah, it's great.
Fucking snake the shit out of I washed my dogs in the shower.
Yeah.
And it was just caked up with hair. It was ridiculous. I had just like hair pie. Like I would pull it out of the drain, like these big wads, especially Brutus, my Shiba Inu English Bulldog mix.
Oh.
He's got a lot of hair. And when I would wash him in the shower, I would pull these hunks. And Marshall's the worst, though. The Golden's the worst. You pull these giant chunks.
Yeah,
and
like
it just
people's hair.
Clogged everything up. So I just got one of them snakes and shoved it in there. And it follows its way down and cleans it all out. And then the water flushes. Don't pump that Drano shit down there, though.
That eats away your pipes,
Yeah,
right?
it's not good.
You know what I was thinking? I should have fucking become like a plumber or an electrician while I was doing stand-up in the beginning, like as a day job. Because when some shit happens at your house and you got to call that asshole and they come out, they have all the power. The guy who knows how to just fix your plumbing or your electricity, it's not a small job. It's not easy. I'm not saying that. But the guy that knows how to do that has all the power in that situation. And you're so vulnerable, you know, when your lights don't work or the thing and the thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, you have the knowledge, you have the power to do this. Please help me.
So you think you should have become a plumber just to learn it so that you could do it for yourself or to do it as a job?
No, as a gig. That should have been my daytime gig.
Yeah, but if you do that as a gig, like that's not an easy gig to get.
It's not easy. You have to have an apprenticeship. You learn how to do
Get in
it.
a union. Like there's a lot of shit. Yeah, it's a lot of shit involved.
I don't know that.
Yeah, and you know
Such a good skill, though.
It is, but it's also super long hours. Like you're working hard. Like plumbers work, you know.
But it's the long hours. I was hoping I could make my own hours a bit more.
Well, and the good thing about something like that though is you would have your nights free.
That's what I'm talking about.
But you'd be so tired.
Yeah, you need a lazy day job. That's what I found for stand-up. It was the best just to have like a 9 to 5 that I didn't give a shit about. Didn't have to expend too much energy.
What was your 9 to 5 job that you were when you first started making it? Or first started working?
Yeah. Well, the best job I ever had was at the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah. It was the fucking funnest job. It was part-time. And I would like help the Girl Scout cookie drive sale. I would answer phones. And I was on Chelsea Lately at the same time. So I would go do the round table and then go work at the Girl Scouts like the next day.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun though. It was like an easy paycheck.
Did you hear they're going to let girls into the Cub Scouts now? That's the new thing.
Now, is it vice versa too? The Cub Scouts are going to join the Girl Scouts?
I don't think any boys are going to sign up for that.
Why? How dare you? How binary?
Yeah, I'm super binary.
I bought my son. We're so binary in our house. We just bought my son a football book. It's in the shape of a football and explains football to the boy. You
should do that and right next to it put a little dress and see which one he chooses.
I fucking tell you right now what he chooses. It's so funny now that I have a son and I'm like, the kid likes dirt. He's playing in the trash can right now. He's
dinosaurs,
all that stuff, cars, dirt, just muck. He's 100% heterosexual boy.
Well, he might not be. He might be just like a super bear.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
A muscle bear. I'd like that too.
Muscly bear character. Because if he's Tommy's boy, he's going to be hairy as fuck.
Hairy, yeah.
He's going to be like a wolf.
Oh, he's so cute.
His back hair, armpit hair. Imagine if he's a little baby and he starts growing back hair. You're like, oh, God, you're a baby. What the fuck? Jamie, I want you to Google babies with back hair. There's got to be like some Iranian wrestler baby.
Iranian.
Some Russian manly little baby with fucking thick back hair.
That's hilarious.
Like, what is the youngest ever child that had back hair?
Okay, there's got to be some weird genetic thing like hirsutism.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you go. That's a hairy fucking baby. Jesus Christ, is that baby's ass ever clean? That's the hairiest baby ass ever.
Ugh.
That's incredible.
Oh, baby.
That kid's got no shot. That kid's literally going to look like a werewolf. Okay. Look at that hairy fucking baby. That's insane. That baby's entire back is covered in hair.
That's cute. That
kid's going to be a savage. I bet he's built like Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's probably like 7 now, just jacked, big traps and shit. Giant shoulders covered with fur.
Look at that. Yeah, we took my son to some
baby.
hippie
Jesus
classes,
Christ.
you know, where they teach whatever. They say shit like, we're stimulating his frontal lobe right now. I'm like, no, you're
know
not.
What the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, he's playing with it. Right. He's bouncing balls. It's called bouncing the fucking ball. And then she brings out a box of dolls. And there's girls and boys in the class. And my son is like, nah, I ain't interested in that shit. Like, he just totally doesn't want it. And then she tells me, you know, we should teach him to like dolls too and also be sensitive. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Shut up, ho.
Yeah, first of all, my kid's not interested. He's not going to I'm not going to force him to play. Secondly, he knows how to be gentle. We have dogs in the house. He learns to be, he's not a stupid idiot kid, like, you know. But the forcing of it, I was like, all right, well, you know, fucking whatever.
Isn't that weird that someone, first of all, the idea that you would know what a child should play with.
At 2.
You and you, this person who doesn't even know the kid.
Yeah.
Right? And does she have babies of her own?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You probably should know that too.
Yeah.
So this is like theoretical shit that she's trying to apply to a living human in some sort of experimental way and teaching it as dogma.
Yes. I know. And it's always the bitches that don't have kids.
Right.
And
It's
like,
always
yeah.
some weird fucking macrame bitches. They smell like patchouli and fucking incense, and they drive Priuses.
It's so
Too
crazy.
many bumper stickers.
Oh, that's cute.
It's the,
They're choking those
the
babies.
baby spa in Australia.
Oh,
Babies get massages and stuff.
oh, that's kind of
I
cool.
like
The
that.
kid's smiling. You know what's really creepy? Baby chiropractors. People
No,
that
there's
take
a
their
thing?
they take their babies to chiropractors, and the chiropractors adjust them as crack their necks. Newborn babies.
No,
Yeah.
not enough money in the world.
Out of their fucking mind. Yeah.
I would never do it.
It's fucking sick.
How do you even find a
Look at
school
that.
for your kid?
Chiropractic for your little one.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out of here.
it can help with colic, earaches, reflux, asthma, allergies, sleep problems, ADHD, and bedwetting.
Bedwetting?
And it makes them psychic.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can see the future. They read your mind. Shut the fuck up. It doesn't do any of those things, you fucking assholes.
Of course not.
You baby cracking cunts.
Yep.
That is one of the creepiest fucking things.
And this is the other thing, to have the best possible start. Everything is marketed that if you don't
Yeah.
do this for your child, they're going to be developmentally behind every other asshole. Well, I have to tell you, I've known the human race now for 41 years. I'm not fucking impressed. And I'm not worried that my kid is behind all these assholes, because
Yeah.
most people aren't really doing much anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm not so worried about getting ahead. He's fine.
By cracking his neck.
Yeah, he needs his fucking neck
There's
cracked.
zero evidence that does anything, by the way. Zero.
I don't know about it either.
I do know about it,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, I went into it. I had a lady on who was written articles about it.
And?
It was all invented
Bullshit.
by a guy who was a magnetic healer in the 1800s. It's one of those things that's grandfathered in that we like to think of as being a legit source of like medicine.
Yeah.
Like they call themselves doctors. They don't go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
medical
yeah,
school.
yeah. It's
There's
like-
no medical school.
It's like
None.
leeching or
Zero.
something. Like they put leeches on you.
Not
like
that
that
bad.
kind of.
Well, it's just leeches might actually have a medical benefit.
Yeah.
But the only thing that seems to help is adjusting lower back for some people, alleviate some pain. But the problem is there's like some psychosomatic shit going on with people. There's like some, placebo effect. Like, does that feel better? Yeah, it kind of does.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it kind of does.
Yeah.
And like you're looking for it to feel better. Just being touched feels better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Getting a massage feels better. But there's no look, if you go to an orthopedic surgeon, you have a tear in your knee, they replace, your ACL, that's fucking real.
Yeah.
They really fixed you. If
Yeah.
someone just takes you and goes, okay, relax. I want you to think about your chakra. Think about this side. We're gonna get. Hold on, I'm gonna get it. Okay, I got it. You didn't get anything.
No,
there's nothing to get.
And it's terrifying. It's terrifying to have somebody do that to you.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
good.
like it.
A girl died last year. Some Playboy Playmate character. She got adjusted and she developed some sort of a blood clot and died.
Cool.
And,
Good.
And someone, I talked about that, and people that love chiropractors or are chiropractors, they emailed me, "You fucking asshole, you're spreading a negative shit about chiropractic. That woman had a medical issue that she did not dissolve." Just listen to me. If she can get through life and not have a fucking stroke until someone adjusts her neck, how the hell is adjusting your neck good?
Yeah. Yeah.
She had a medical issue? What medical issue?
Yeah.
What, she doesn't like getting her neck strangled? Like what is going on? Did she bleed easy? Was she hemophiliac? Like what's causing? Why are you doing that? There's no evidence that works. It doesn't do anything.
I don't know. I don't know shit about it. I don't trust it though. I don't let anybody fucking crack me.
It's crazy how prominent it is. It's everywhere.
We had a girl tell us when our son was 8 weeks old and he was crying like around 5 o'clock every night. It's like it was his witching hour. Newborns often have
Right.
the time of day they get cranky. She goes, this is our nanny at the time. She goes, I sense his energy is off. It might be because he's sensing your anxiety. And well, I have a friend that does Reiki, and she normally charges $100 an hour, but she'll charge you $50 because he's so small.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's when they do this like
You're
body
outta
thing.
here.
They go near you with the energy
it's
with the hands.
infuriating. Have you ever had somebody do
No.
Reiki? You will want to blow your fucking brains out. I had a lady do it to me, and I don't know what it does, but they hover or over you, right?
Yeah.
Over your chakra, whatever the fuck that is. And the whole time I'm like, I'm so angry that this person's doing. Yeah, like,
Why'd
what are
you
you
let her do
doing?
it?
Stop
Why'd
it.
you let
Touch
her
me.
do it?
Because I want to try it. Because I had heard about it, and I was like, well, is it like a massage? I didn't really know enough.
Right.
And it's not a massage. It's nothing.
Oh, is she doing it right
Yeah.
here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Reiki treatment session. Please give me some volume so I can understand how she's healing her vagina. She's hovering over her pussy. She's like, this area is hot. I'm sensing
hot.
warmth. You might have syphilis. Go to a doctor. What's up with your socks? That's a woman who's given up on life with those socks.
Yes, she's
On each of the chakras.
shutting it down.
Hold on. Chakras?
So I usually start at the third eye.
Oh, fuck
She's
off.
starting at the third eye. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's super
In
healthy.
this case, I'm not actually placing my hands on the client because I don't want to press into her eyes.
Uh-huh.
You're not near her eyes, you crazy bitch.
No.
Now, each of
It's
the
her third
positions
eye,
that
Joe.
is demonstrated
I'm
here, I
sorry,
will normally hold for approximately 2 to 3 minutes each.
That's why it's infuriating. It
But of course,
lasts
for the sake
forever.
of this demo, I'm just going to take you through each one,
Oh, okay.
explaining what I'm doing.
Super healthy. Look at how she's got a chart on the wall, so it's got to be legit. So
The fucking chart legitimizes it. I know.
it's drawn like a 1960s kung fu diagram.
Right.
This is where the death touch is. Whoosh.
My stupid chart.
I had a lady corner me at the comedy store and tell me that she's a Reiki healer. And she made me put my hand out. And I go, what are you going to do? And she's like, I'm just going to, just so you can feel it. And I go, what am I feeling?
Yeah.
She goes, just put your hand out and just empty your mind. I go, okay. So
Done.
I put my hand out, and she just hovers her hand over. I go, what are you doing? And she's like, you're not open. This is not going to work if you're not open. I'm like, oh, well, it's not going to work then, because you're just hovering your hand over me. She's like, I'm a Reiki healer. I'm like, bitch, you're crazy. You're out of your fucking mind.
No, she's a shyster. These are hucksters.
Yeah. I
Is
think
that-
they believe. I don't know if they believe. Some of them, well, I don't want to generalize them into one giant group, but some of them must believe they're doing something.
Well, I think you have to believe it's working too. It's
a placebo effect.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I've been hypnotized to stop smoking cigarettes, and it's been 11
That's
years.
different. That's different.
But you don't believe that you have to be
Hypnosis is
open
legit.
to it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hypnosis is legit.
Yeah.
And I think that's one. I'm going to see if you agree with this. I think that's what stand-up is. I think when you're killing, like, say, if I watch you, if you're on stage and you're killing, and I'm sitting in the back of the room, I'm letting you think for me. I'm like caught in your trance, right? You're like, I'm not thinking, I don't know if I agree with her. Maybe she's wrong. I don't like her dress.
Right.
I'm sitting there and if you're killing and I'm locked into you and I'm really enjoying the show, I'm allowing you to think for me. And I'm falling into like this trance in sort of a way. And when you're making me laugh, then like I have confidence in your thought process that I'll let you take the reins and I'll just sit back and have a good time. I think there's something to that because I was hypnotized for the first time last year by a friend of mine. His name is Vinny Shorman, and he does a lot of work. He's a hypnotist, but he also does a lot of work with fighters. And he puts them in this state, and you're entirely conscious while this is happening. But he puts you in this very, very relaxed state, and you go over things that you would like to work on or go over things that perhaps are
love that
bothering
shit.
you, go over things that are bothering you about the past. But what it is about putting you in a state of mind where you can just relax and think and not be overwhelmed by extraneous information or things outside of your control. That's real. That's like as real as meditation, as real as but this shit where I'm gonna hover over your vagina and pretend I'm cooking. Here I
Do you feel the
am.
energy? You're not open, Joe. You're just not open to it.
If my hand was a marshmallow right now, I'd flip it because I'm roasting over your pussy. She covered her everything. When she got to the vagina, she stayed there for a long time. She was like, "This is
so
this is
hot
the
there."
area of your troubles. This is where it all stems.
Your
This is-
pussy heat. The heat coming off your face.
My hands are sweaty. Smell them."
That's so stupid.
It's just, but people always want to find like there's something wrong with me. I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm living in traffic. I don't like my life. Someone fix me.
Fix it.
I'm gonna put needles in your head and all over the place. And
That's
these are
a
gonna
bunch of dog shit,
Open
too.
up your chakras.
Have you done acupuncture?
Only once.
Well, once too, and I hated it. I was so angry the whole time because it hurts. It fucking hurts.
Did it hurt?
For me, it did. I mean, maybe she was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I was having migraines like 10 years ago, but it's because I was on this birth control pill that was fucking with me.
Oh, no. It's because you didn't get the needles.
You know why? I
in
wasn't
your
open
head.
enough to the
You
needles.
weren't open to Reiki.
Oh, I gotta get
Maybe if you just Reiki'd a fist. Right in there. What?
Now go ahead and make a fist and put it in your own ass. Feel the energy.
massage your inner colon. I only did it once, and it was the guy was a chiropractor too, so he had double bullshit going on.
Yeah.
He adjusted my neck, and then he stuck needles in my head, and he was trying to fix my shoulder. And I'm like,
How'd that go?
Didn't work. It turned out it was just a slight little muscle pull that I need to get over.
Now, what do you
Healing.
think about psychics and mediums?
Bullshit artists?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think it is entirely possible that we sense things that we don't have an understanding of. Like, sometimes you feel something weird. Like, I was thinking about a friend of mine yesterday, and I hadn't talked to him in a while, and he emailed me out of the blue.
Right.
I don't know if that's a coincidence.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but the odds of it happening are... You got to think of how many times do you think about your friend and they don't email you, right? Right? Like, why is it then when you think about them and they do? Is it just I don't know. But I think there are times where you sense things that you don't have a sense for. Like, there's a feeling that you get where you don't understand. And I think we sense things about each other. And maybe there are social cues that we're picking up on. Maybe maybe people give off pheromones when they're upset. Maybe those trigger you because we're like sort of designed to avoid confrontation in certain individuals. But I think this idea that they can look at you and like, your family is from, I sense a farm. Is there a farm? Is there a farm in your past?
No.
Plants? Selling plants?
Yeah, I had plants.
No, what it is a potted plant. Sit by the...
Yes.
Yes.
There was a potted plant.
And you are close to a woman.
Yes, I have.
Who would that be?
My mother. My mother was a woman.
Your mother, yes. Yes. I see your mother. I'm trying to picture out her name. Is there an A in her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Magdalene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Magdalene.
Very good.
Yes. Dude, I went to see this lady. She knew everything about my mom. A friend of mine went to a chiropractor, or not a chiropractor, a psychic, same shit. And he went...
Same shit, different toilet.
He went, dude, the chiropractor knew all about my grandmother. I go, yeah. Don't you know about your grandmother? You know about your grandmother, right? So your chiropractor's telling you shit you already know, or your psychic, rather. I keep calling the chiropractor.
I know, I was like...
Reiki healer knows shit about things that you already know. So they're telling you things you already know. Like, they're not psychic. They're manipulating you. They're pulling questions out of you. They're getting answers. They're giving you leading questions. You're answering them in a very naive way. And you're giving them the information because they're fucking con artists. Tell this asshole to tell you what your future is. Tell them to tell you what the lottery number is. How come they never pick the lottery, these fucks?
That's right. And Houdini had this thing where, didn't he work it out with like his wife or something? There was like a code word so that when he died, he would go from beyond, have the word that they would know. And it never, happened.
Maybe he didn't like her. Fuck that bitch.
I was like, I'm out of here.
Satisfaction knowing about ghosts. I go by Penn and Teller. I'm friends with Penn, and
love him.
He just tells me it's 100% horse shit.
Yeah,
like 100% flat out. You know, they have that James Randi challenge. You know, that guy has offered $1 million to anyone that can prove actual psychic powers. No one's taken him up on it. No one's ever James Randi. It's the James Randi challenge.
Not even the what's the
Long Island medium?
Yeah.
I think she might be a bullshit artist.
One time, I think I got hosed. I did a podcast, and the lady she was good because I think what it is people can read your unconscious. It's one unconscious mind reading another unconscious mind, I imagine.
I feel like your father was an artist. Am I right?
Yes.
But that's the thing. They're telling you things that you already know. That's what drives me fucking
affirming
crazy.
What's already a belief or whatever in you versus new information.
What do you think about astrologers?
That's fucking stupid.
Bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Can I tell you something? Whenever I meet a girl and she's like, "What's your sign?" And I'm like, "Gemini." She's like, "I knew it. You're such a Gemini. What's your husband?" And I'm like, please don't. Like, I can't pretend like I can't subscribe to. It's
You're
fucking
such
horseshit.
a Scorpio.
Yeah.
God, how can you not believe you're such a Scorpio?
It's just not. It's silly.
But you can find traits in people, in all sorts of people that match all sorts of different. Like, I could be a Virgo. I could be a Taurus.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so stubborn. You gotta be a Taurus.
You're such a Pisces that way.
Oh my God, you're such a Leo. How could you not believe you're such a Leo?
Yeah, because I could read any horoscope and it would probably apply.
What I really wonder about, those are bullshit.
Yeah.
The real horoscope thing, when you talk to the people that are super into it, they they literally want to know what time of the day you were born, what
Right.
part of the world you were born.
Right.
And then they're like, well, you're a Gemini with a Cancer rising, and you're part cunt.
Stop. It makes my asshole pucker. Like, even hearing it, it's like a million alarm bells are like, dumb, 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 dumb. I can't. Like,
Yeah, Stanhope used to have a funny bit about it. I forget how it goes. We have a funny bit about how ridiculous it is. It's just...
It's
horse
fun.
shit.
It's fun, but it's silliness.
Well,
you
we're
know?
searching. People are always searching for meaning. You know, we're
Yeah.
always searching for someone who knows something that we don't. Hidden knowledge, the secrets to the universe. Because there's so much uncertainty
Yeah.
that leaves open this possibility that someone has like, I've been gifted. I have a gift.
Yeah, and you're like, yes, great. Tell me everything.
I went to a psychic once. I went to an audition in New York, and I was just like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Walking to the train station, I'm like, I'm gonna go to a psychic. So I went to the psychic, and she's like, you have a brother. I go, no, I don't.
A psychic brother.
I feel like maybe you have a brother you don't know about. No. My mom had me when she was 20. I have a sister. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
She made up a bunch of stupid shit. She was talking about, you're not sure what you want to do with your life. I go, yeah, no, I know exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is terrible.
Lies.
You don't know what you're doing.
I had a lady just tell me right before I shot my special, a psychic, she goes, I go, what do you see in my future? And I knew that the special was coming. And
Right.
she didn't even know what I did for a living. And she goes, I see you as like an interior designer.
She's just guessing.
Yeah. She goes, you have a real flair for style. I go, I certainly do not. This is the last thing I'm good at.
I'm wearing 2 different color socks, bitch.
Yeah, look at me. I'm an animal. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're crazy, lady.
Why
Yeah.
did you go see her?
Because it was a podcast. It was a friend's podcast where they have mediums on, and,
Oh,
and I thought
God.
it'll be silly, it'll be fun, and you know, I got suckered in that day. I think I did. I really did. I know if I'm being honest, because my mother died 2 years ago, so I was kind of like, and I now that looking back, she did totally lead me down. Like, you didn't
Well,
get
your mother
along.
was kind of nutty, though.
My mother was mentally ill. Yeah, like legit. Like she was a borderline personality disorder, and then had schizophrenia too. So it was fucking wackadoodles.
Do you have to do like self audits?
You mean aggressive therapy for the last decade?
Check yourself before you wreck
Yeah.
yourself type shit.
Yeah.
Like, do you
Oh,
look into
yeah.
your own brain and go, am I wacky?
24/7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not 24/7 anymore. But because I grew up alone with my mom. My parents split, and then I was raised by a crazy person, and so I've had to like relearn how to
Yeah.
think and what's the right way to do stuff. And like I said, I've been in therapy for a decade, so I've had to learn. You know, like I just had to relearn, and it's
Right.
you totally can. You know, that's the thing. Like that's why I don't talk about it to be like, oh, poor me, I had this thing, but just to let people know, if you did grow up kind of wacky, you can fucking fix your brain. You can
Yeah.
reorient. You can change how you think. It doesn't have to stay sick. you
Yeah.
know?
Now, how
yeah.
often do you go to therapy?
Every week, dude. And if I don't, like, I feel it. Like I have a whole regimen. It's the exercise. It's the therapy. It's eating right. It's sleeping. You got to do it all.
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, you know, I get out of whack.
And what do you get out of the therapy?
So I believe in psychotherapy, like getting back Freudian. I like to go back to the initial wound, to the root cause. I like to go back, look, because what happens is you get wounded way back when, right? The childhood trauma, the thing. And then you grow up and it gets triggered by whatever stuff happens as an adult. Except now you're all fired up and you're all angry and you're so overreactive and you don't know why. Well, it's probably not because of what happened today. It's what happened back here.
Yeah.
So if you resolve the shit back here, then what happens today becomes a lot clearer. And it works for me. So
Yeah, well, that makes sense, right? Don't think about what's going on right now. Think about why you feel weird about what's going on right now.
What is it really? Did my husband really just look at me funny and that's why I'm so furious about this little thing? Or is this something that's mommy, daddy way back here?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of us live from the past. You live from the past wound. You make all your decisions based on that programming. So if your fucking wires are crossed, you're going to make bad decisions over and over and over.
Yeah, and I would imagine that any time spent thinking about your behavior, thinking about the way you think, just examining your own mind, is as long as you're really doing it justice, like really being, like, so many people don't ever think about the way they think.
No.
They're just caught up in the whirlwind of life, the momentum of their own existence. And then next thing you know, they're like miserable and 50 and like, what am I doing? Where am I? Blah.
Right. Or it's the divorce and then the remarriage to someone
This
who's
is going to be better.
Right.
He's going to fix it. He's going to fix it. He's my soulmate.
I'm going to have an affair. I'm going to do that. I'm going to act out here.
Woo!
How's that going to work for you? Yeah. Or I'm gonna start doing, drugs, alcohol, overeating, whatever, gambling, compulsive. That'll clear up this stuff, right?
The gambling one is the weirdest one to me. I've known so many people that are compulsive gamblers, and I see the itch in them. To get that itch.
I'm so scared of gambling.
You go to Vegas?
I don't.
No?
I don't
Never?
like it. It's not for me.
Do you work there?
I have, yeah.
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 I work there a lot. I work there like 3 or 4 times a year, for the UFC.
Yes.
And I now spend 0 time in casinos.
Yeah.
But I used to spend time in casinos because I would stay in a casino and then I would work in a casino. But now I just stay outside of the casino because it's just, I don't enjoy being around that energy.
I agree.
'Cause there's this frantic gambler energy where you see these people, you walk by the card tables and they're just looking and they're thinking, like, whoa, you're like watching people in an opium den.
Yes. Yeah, it's depravity. It's low energy, low frequency. There's the light is synthetic, the air is synthetic, the time stops. I don't like that. And what I figured out too is that everyone's got the shit, the addictions, the gambling, the compulsive behaviors because we're afraid to feel the feeling. You're just afraid of the feeling, the bad feeling.
Well, I think it's that, but I think it's also there is a reward to winning, and you're chasing this reward constantly. I don't necessarily know if it's being afraid of the feeling as much as being addicted to the reward. That's
That
the thing.
too.
Like I was reading this article that the guy who created likes on Facebook was saying that, not only does he not use Facebook now, that he's got like a thing set up on his computer where he can't go to Reddit, and his phone is set up where he can't download apps. Like he's like that whole like thing where you go to check to see how many likes you got on a Facebook post you made or something like that. Like that reward system is like entirely, it's addictive, and it triggers this thing in people, and that it can hijack your mind. I mean, that was like literally like the title of the article is that like this technology can hijack your mind.
Without question. The reward system, right? Like little rats. Ding, ding, ding. I got the cheese.
Like
There's
do
more
you see
shit
those
there.
people in front of the slots?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, feels
Ding,
good.
ding, ding, ding. Just droned out.
But then when you're in the reward system, you're not thinking about the stuff that's bothering you,
Ding,
right?
ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding.
Everything's great.
Ding, 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 ding,
Likes. Love me, daddy. Good. I have to think about that.
Gambling is a weird one, man.
Yeah, I don't understand it because you're really self-sabotaging.
You know who gambles up a storm?
Who?
Dice.
Really?
He's
Oh,
a
yes.
maniac.
I've heard this. Yes.
He's a maniac.
Yes.
Like hundreds of thousands of dollars a night.
What?
Yes. Maniac.
That I did not know.
Savage.
Wow.
Yeah. Savage
Now,
gambler.
what do you think's what's the motive there?
He's
what's,
mentally ill. Oh! Big fat fucking ass! I think
I loved him.
he loves it.
I loved him, by the way, as a child.
Oh, I did too.
I think so funny. I loved him. I loved him.
being friends with him. I love that I'm friends with Dice.
Oh, he's the coolest.
You know,
I don't know him, but like
Talk
personally.
to him on the phone. Joseph.
Oh.
Talk to me. I love him. But it's he loves the thrill of gambling.
So, but
I don't know.
But the thrill. I avoid gambling altogether. I'm far too frugal. But is it the thing of like I can lose everything?
There's a little of
What-
that. There's the rush of winning too. It's not
Right.
just the notion that you could lose everything. It's the rush of winning.
Wow.
Dana White's a giant gambler. He's gambled. He's lost as much as $1 million in a night.
Is the surf? Is he a surfboarder skateboarder?
President of the UFC.
Oh, sorry. Who am I thinking
Same
of?
guy. Is he a band? Is he
Dana
a
White's
boy
son.
band member?
I'm thinking of it's
Is
Sean
he,
White.
Is he a b-boy? You know what I've been getting into lately?
Who?
Break dancers.
I fucking love breakdancing. I love that era.
There's an Instagram page called Stance Elements.
Okay.
Holy shit. These guys are on another level.
Yeah.
There's this young Korean kid. The shit that he does like defies physics. I think they call him like Pocket Kim or something like that is his name. He's on that Stance Elements page.
Dude, there's a school you can go to and learn.
I don't want. I'm too
Come
busy.
on, Joe.
I'm too
let's
fucking
go
busy.
fucking
I'm having a hard enough time with English. That's the guy. Yeah. What is his name? Bobby Pocket.
B-boy pocket.
B-boy Pocket. Okay. Go to his. Watch this guy.
I love
Check this
this
guy.
shit.
But no, you can't believe the shit he can do. Look at this. Look
It's
at this.
amazing.
Look at this.
I know.
Dude, seriously. What in the fuck?
What?
Look at this. Come on. I mean, what in the fuck? This guy is on such another level than anything I've ever seen before. He's like taking this to some completely new place.
So rad, dude.
He was on.
Shit's so
I was
rad.
looking at Tim Ferriss's Instagram page.
I like Tim Ferriss.
and this was on
guy.
it. Yeah, and this was on it. This guy was on it, and I was like, "What in the fuck?" And then I started following Stance Elements on Instagram. And once I started following it on Instagram, I realized, like, oh my god, I had no idea this was even happening. Like, and it's girls too. There's a bunch of girls. Scroll down and see some of the girls. Like, you see, like, there was a girl with long hair with a hat on. Keep scrolling down. Just keep scrolling down. There was a girl on like dance floor type situation with long hair and a hat. Like, keep going. You'll find her. Keep going. No. That might be one of them. That's one of them. Watch this girl.
Oh shit.
There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
But these girls can do crazy shit too. Like, they're unbelievable athletes. Give me some music there, Jamie. But it's like, it's a crazy, like, gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics art form thing. Like, so they do the dance thing where they're standing up and then they get down on the ground.
That's so hard, dude.
Oh, it's
Could you even
crazy.
imagine doing this shit now?
No. Well, what's really interesting is a lot of these people that get into jiu-jitsu are particularly talented at jiu-jitsu because they have some amazing control over their body. One of our best students from 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu is Gio Martinez and Richie Martinez, these two brothers. And they're both breakdancers. They started out breakdancing, and now they're fucking savage jiu-jitsu fighters. And it's one of the reasons why is because they have this incredible control of their body.
I bet.
But I'm fascinated. I go to that every day. I'm like, what's the new freak shit?
Isn't that funny, dude?
people are doing?
You find your Instagram jams, right?
Oh, yeah, I have a lot of jams on Instagram.
What's your other
Yeah.
jam? Let's go.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I follow a lot of nature pages.
Oh, nature? I
Oh,
gotta get
yeah.
into that. See?
Yeah, Nature is Metal is one of my favorite.
Cool.
Have you been to Nature is Metal?
No, but I'm gonna.
It's horrific fucking animals killing each other.
You do like that because you always do post shit like, look at this fucking beast, and it's like some crazy animal.
Yeah, I
with
got to
teeth.
tell everybody, look at that one.
Yeah, dude.
These wolves fighting over a deer that they killed.
That's banana.
Yeah, they're covered in blood. There's one that's going on right now. It's not visual, but it's a story on my friend Remy Warren on his Instagram page. They were on an island in Alaska, and they got attacked by a giant grizzly bear.
Oof.
A giant Kodiak brown bear. It was a 1,000-pound bear. Knocked them over, ran through the camp. One guy was literally riding on the bear's back as it ran down the hill. The bear literally attacked, and there was so many people, and everybody scattered in certain directions, and nobody got killed, but they easily could have gotten killed. And it's on his Instagram page. There's that video, but there's also on his Instagram story. If you're using the app and you click on his little icon, it's like one of those where you see like 100 dots in a row, and he broke, I don't know how he did it. He broke like a long video down into 15-second chunks.
You record the whole video and then you got to take time to put it up on the story. But
Right, but how do you do one? Will they seamlessly go into the other where there's no breaks?
just use the next 15-second part.
Oh God.
It's a little bit of a pain in the dick. There
Is
might
there
be
an
a better
app?
way, but
Maybe
I don't
there's a
think
better
there is.
way?
I don't think that there is.
But the way he did is so seamless. It seems like there is a better way. Maybe they're better at it now. Anyway, a 1,000-pound huge Kodiak brown bear charged them because they had killed an elk, and they had the elk in camp. They had the meat in camp, and this bear just ran over the top of the hill, full blast at them, knocking people left and right. And they said it was only because there were so many of them that they survived and nobody got hurt. One guy hit the bear in the face with ski poles, with like trekking poles,
God.
and the bear scrambled. Like he said, literally there was giant gnashing teeth inches from his face. And everyone went
This is
full
fucking bananas.
Everyone went full reptilian. They didn't see it coming. They had bear spray and pistols, but they couldn't get to him in time. They're like, "You think you can handle this? Like, you think you're prepared? Like, oh, I would have done this. Next time you should do this." He's like, "There's no next time. There's no you have no idea how you're gonna react when a 1,000-pound bear runs at you."
Hell no. Hell no. I mean, like, we had a rat in our house, and I was like terrified of killing it and seeing it dead but I was excited to put down those traps, like the snap traps. I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill this thing.
exciting, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get like a night vision camera just to make sure.
Red Band did that.
Yeah?
He captured it on film, like the rat getting caught in the trap. It's horrific. The thing
Yeah.
is screaming.
I know.
When the trap gets like.
I know. I know, but when that motherfucker's shitting all over your house and shitting in your kitchen, that's all I want is to see him dead.
Well, you guys are in the hills.
Yeah.
When you're in the hills, you get rats.
I know.
There's no way around it.
No, I know. They know what's so silly is that rat thing, I mean, we eventually caught it because I poisoned the fuck out of our yard. I was like, I'm going to get him.
No.
I loved it. It felt good to kill it. But and he fucking showed up dead one day. My kid was playing right next to it. I was like, oh my God, it's here. And it was all stiff. And I got to like throw it away. And it was good. But it really made me realize, maybe this is like whatever tangent, but I think I'm becoming more of an atheist too. Because you start to realize that it really just is like humans versus the elements. Like it's just us trying to build a fucking house, trying to keep the rodents out, trying to keep your shit safe, bears from eating you, trying to keep your young safe, trying to get them raised. We're just animals, but we've got like cars and iPhones and shit, you know?
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of that.
Oh, is
2
this
camera
it?
shoot.
Oh,
with
I like
night vision.
I have this
You
trap
remove
too.
rats.
Trap one where it screams, but
Oh yeah, is it down?
I was
Doesn't
trying to
have
find it. I don't remember exactly where he had it.
He's got it up somewhere on Instagram.
I
but
love
yeah, he
it.
caught them.
Good for him.
Yeah.
This is a good trap. We have this one too. It's an electric one, I believe.
But he was hearing them in his walls and shit.
Oh,
Like,
God damn it.
have you ever seen Rats on Netflix?
No.
Dude,
The movie?
stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. There's a documentary,
Hilarious.
Rats on Netflix.
No.
It is
No, bro.
It's fucking amazing.
No.
It's so scary.
They're nasty as fuck, huh?
They're so nasty, and you realize how many there are. There's so many.
Oh, my asshole just tangled.
Dude,
and I
New
knew
York
it.
City, overrun.
No.
They say the weight in humans and the weight in rats might be the same in New York.
I'm sorry? Really?
The weight of humans and the weight of rats. Like there might be as many like pounds of rat as there are pounds of people.
Great.
That's one theory. They don't know. Like it's just guesswork how many rats there are, but they're convinced there's as many rats as there are people. There's 7 million people in New York. There's 7 million rats. But they say it might be as high as the body mass, like the biomass of rats and the biomass of people.
Yeah. See, that's why I knew when I fucking found
I might
one.
have made that up.
I don't know. When you find one, there's a bunch.
These unfortunate rats were not part of the Combs study. Were found hung by the Lower East Side resident last summer. They hung rats? How big they are? Why'd they hang them?
Those are horrendous.
Why'd they hang them? Just to let other rats know. Listen, you cunts. It's my fucking neighborhood.
Let this be a warning.
You can't.
Have you seen those Cuban rats in Cuba? My husband went there once, and they're called nutria.
Oh yeah. They have those in the South.
Oof.
Like they hunt them.
Good.
Apparently they taste good.
No.
Yes. People cook them. Apparently it's like, God, did Anthony Bourdain have it on his show? It was on another show. It was on someone's show. Someone had a show about like edible wild animals that people take for granted. I forget what it was called, but he cooked nutria and it was delicious. He made like this casserole or something.
Was he in Uganda? I think that was in Uganda.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
in the South.
Because I think in Uganda one time they fed him a rat, and he was like, "It's delicious," and you just knew that he was being. It was in a yellow curry sauce.
I had squirrel.
I hear it's greasy.
The way I had it wasn't greasy, but it was good.
Yeah.
It tasted good. It didn't taste bad.
It doesn't taste bad, but it's not good.
I mean, you got to think it's eating acorns. You know, it's like
Is that what they eat?
yeah.
Just
I mean,
fucking
it's probably
nuts
just
and
like
shit.
rabbits. Like, have you ever eaten rabbit?
I like rabbit.
Yeah, squirrel's
tasty.
probably the same.
I've had a rattlesnake, jambalaya.
Really?
That's okay.
I've had alligator.
I like alligator.
I'm supposed to go hunt alligators with a buddy of mine.
Those are
We're gonna bow
cool.
hunt for alligator.
Fucking dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah, you're basically shooting at purse.
When I was on Road Rules back in the 90s, we went to a crocodile farm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You
and
were
the-
on Road Rules
Yeah.
in the 90s?
You didn't know that?
No.
Really? This
It's
whole
on
time?
MTV, Road
Yep.
Rules?
Yeah, the
No
red-haired
shit.
stepchild of the real world, dude. I was in a Winnebago. We went to Australia.
How was it the red-haired stepchild? Was it the same producers or something?
Same company, Bune and Murray, and the real world was like the flagship awesome show,
Right.
and then like a fraction, watched the Road Rules.
Do you know Matt Kunitz, one of the guys who was do you know Matt?
Yes,
He's the
yes.
guy who was a producer of Fear Factor.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Matt's a friend
It's
of mine.
Small
I
world.
vacation with him.
Oh, well, totally said hello. I do love Matt Kunitz.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
I worked
people.
with him forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people come out there. But anyway, we worked at the crocodile farm, and this is back in the day. There I am.
Get the fuck out of here. Look at you.
And not wearing jeans, by the way.
Dude, you're a baby.
I know.
You're like a baby. That's crazy. That's
21.
you?
Yeah, I was like 20.
Zoom in on her.
Low res, guys.
I
Wow.
find a better version.
How old were you then?
Like 20 or 20.
Wow.
Crazy haircut, too. Look at that 90s haircut.
Isn't it funny that, like, how people get on those shows and they're like, well, hey, maybe something will happen out of this. How few people things happen for.
It did never.
You know who like, Michael Yo? Do you know Michael Yo?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. He
the Yo
was
Show.
on the first ever episode of Fear Factor.
Really?
Yep.
But he's really good. He's really
funny.
talented.
He's
yeah.
a great guy, too.
Yeah.
Sweetheart of a guy.
Sweet.
But he was like one of the rare guys that made it through Fear Factor.
Oh my God. And how
became
many
famous.
how many people do you think came on Fear Factor being like, someone's going to see me and I'm going to be like discovered? And
Probably a few, right? But, you know, that wasn't the show. Like, it's not
No.
American Idol.
No.
Even American Idol. Like, think about all the people that were on American Idol that, like, what is the percentage of people that are on America's Got Talent that actually have a career afterwards?
Well, you know who actually did was Melissa Villaseñor. She was on AGT. AGT, as the kids say.
Who's Melissa?
Melissa Villaseñor. She's now on Saturday Night Live. She's
Shut the fuck up.
an amazing impressionist. I mean, this girl was on Instagram every day doing like Gwen Stefani, what's his name? Osment, whole fucks nut from The Sixth Sense. Jaily, suck my nuts. She would do these obscure things and they were spot on. And she came on Your Mom's House and pretended to be Gloria Estefan. And was fantastic. We played the call for Gloria Estefan, and she was like, "Oh my God, this girl is amazing!" Like,
wow.
So she's on there. So I would say that's for sure. I know Melissa Villaseñor is amazing.
And that
talented.
Terry Fedor guy, he has a fucking theater in Vegas at the Mirage.
Yes, but wasn't he always? I thought he was successful prior to being on.
I don't know. I mean, he won America's Got Talent. That's like his credit.
Oh,
it says winner of America's Got Talent, and they have a theater named after him in Vegas.
It's bananas.
The Terry Fedor Theater. Season 2. What are they up to? Like season 90 now? Wait, hold on. Who's that season 10 guy? He's trying to be Terry Fedor. This motherfucker. What's he doing? Paul Zerdin.
Is this motherfucker?
British comedian. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got puppets. Like, there's not a whole lot of guys with puppets in America. Like, stop and think about that. What are the numbers of people that have, like, a puppet act that are comics today?
Well, we got the big one. What's his nuts?
Who?
Come on, the guy with the same manager.
Oh, yeah. That guy, Jeff...
Dunham.
Jeff
Huge.
Dunham. Huge. He's giant.
Huge, yeah.
He sells out arenas.
And in like crazy markets that you wouldn't
This girl
even.
just won it.
She won it.
Good for you,
sick.
Darcy.
She's 12.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Look at fucking.
Get her off the stage. She doesn't know what she's doing.
Fuck nuts.
Fuck nuts. Who,
What's
Simon?
his name? Simon.
Simon.
Simon
Everyone
Cowell.
sucks.
I'm
Look
such
at
a
Howie.
cunt. Yeah, Howie. And then that's Spice. What's her name? Scary Spice.
Yeah.
The comedian that did very well. He made it to the finals. His first thing he did in L.A. I think was on Kill Tony. He was on Kill Tony quite a few times.
Who?
That's cool.
His name's Preacher Lawson.
Oh.
And he made it all the way to the finals. He's got
That's
a
him?
high energy comedian. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Look at that. Wow. Got a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Kinda
He's very
jacked, too.
muscular and
Kinda
shit.
jacked. Yeah.
Yeah, as the kids say.
And he's taking a chance wearing tight clothing, too.
Hell yeah.
Distracting from his stage persona.
See,
Physique.
now that's an interesting. We were talking about this with Brendan Schaub on our show, and he doesn't like to dress too attractively, like showing off his physique on stage. And women, I have a similar problem too. I have huge tits, and so one of my problems with my special was like, how do I fucking cover up these enormous cans so people aren't like,
Look at that tits.
look at the tits on that
And
one.
jokes, too, but tits.
Yeah, please, you know. Yeah.
Tits.
I gotta jerk off before I watch the
What
special
is it
so I can
about
focus.
tits? Like, there's something about tits.
Well,
Right?
they're your first thing. We
It's-
were talking about this at the
yeah,
beginning.
right.
That when you're born and your mom goes, "Here you go," and you're like, "These are great.
Yeah.
Where can I get more of this?"
Plus, like, tits are like, guys stare at tits with the hope that, like, almost like when you stare up at the sky, every now and then you see a shooting star. if you stare at tits, every now and then one will pop out. Like, whoa, a little nip slip.
Does that really happen?
Yeah, nip slips are real. I've seen nip slips. I've seen girls, like, they bend over to, like, fix their shoe and their tip pops out. Oh, my God, did you see that? Like, don't worry, it's no big deal. I looked away as soon as I saw it. I'm being respectful.
So at what age does that, like, at what age does that all calm down and you become like a civilized Human. Oh, sorry. Is that a stupid question?
What is this, Narnia land?
Never mind.
I think when your
70.
dick stops working. Look at Harvey. Harvey Weinstein's like 70 years old, right? How old is he?
So disgusting.
He's getting his rape on.
He's too old to
Allegedly.
be that rapey.
No. Viagra, cocaine.
Yeah. See, at 60, shit's supposed
How
to
old is
kind of.
65.
Yeah.
I think he farts when he comes.
This nasty. You nasty Harvey. Yeah, of course he farts when he comes. Look at him. Oh my god.
Now here's the question: how does a guy bounce back?
This is not bounceable.
No.
No.
So what do you do?
Especially in today's culture where there's no hall pass anymore for this shit.
Right.
He's just got to go into hiding, or like Bill Cosby, do the complete deflection. Like, I don't know what these bitches are talking about. Like,
Yeah,
he's
but
in
that's-
total denial.
But he's also blind. Like
That's
Bill
true.
Cosby's almost completely blind, and
So that
it's weird when you look at him like it's all cockeyed shit. It's like, it's almost like his
Wait,
body
can
is
we
like
look at
rebelling on his reality. You know, it's just, it's
he's
fucked up.
The evil's making him blind.
I was a fan of his in a big way when I was a little kid.
Of course.
I remember listening to Bill Cosby himself. I mean, yeah, his eyes are all fucked up now.
Yeah.
He has like really aggressive glaucoma. Go with the
Wait,
one above it,
my
the gray
favorite
sweater.
is the folded hands.
Look at
Like, Rudy,
Look at that picture right there.
come get
Oof.
your pootie. Yeah.
That's the mugshot when you got arrested.
Yo.
It's just so weird. See, go from that picture to the one in the upper right where he's smiling. Like, what happened? Like, this was the guy we thought we were getting, right? We
Yeah.
thought we were getting Jell-O pudding, America. Look at him smiling. Imagine if you were the girl who this guy raped,
Oh my god.
and you had to watch him be like America's sweetheart, and you're like, no, you're a monster. You're taking people's humanity.
It's so crazy.
Like the Hugh Hefner thing. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
You know, they know what they're signing up for. He's not drugging anybody.
That's true. And everyone's kind of aware.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be great, but there's an exchange here. You get free rent, you
Yeah.
know, the pajama thing.
Even Harvey's not drugging anybody.
I don't know that we don't know yet.
I don't
the
know.
extent.
I'm just
Yeah.
talking shit.
Yeah.
But I'm for the stories that I'm hearing, he's just like
He's just
trying. Like again,
Throwing it.
He's missing a lot of pitches. Like over the years, right? So if 25 women have come forward, how many did he just fucking knock it out of the park? Inside the Mind of Bill Cosby. Wow, what year was
I
that?
wish we could really
Get in there. It's
I'd
just
like-
all pills and rape.
re-record
Just
that album.
coming in people that are asleep.
What's
His favorite thing.
Yeah, how is that the favorite too? Like, I need you to be totally dead.
I don't know. I've heard theories.
Yeah.
One of the theories that I heard that was kind of interesting is that when you are that much of a celebrity in a time where there's no repercussions, like pre-internet, right?
Yeah.
That your thoughts of who you are in comparison to who other people are is that you really literally feel like you're royalty. Like you're better than other people. You know, I worked at a casino once and they told me that this was before Bill Cosby got arrested. This was when the allegations were just before they were even emerging. This was before anything happened. They were talking about how weird he was and that he made the employees all sit down and watch him eat curry. He had to have everybody in that was working there, door people, box office, they had to sit in the room with him and watch him while he ate. And then he had a security guard tuck him in to bed, like literally tuck him into bed at night when he went to sleep.
What's with the curry though?
He wanted people to watch him eat.
and then watch him take a shit later.
I don't even
Best
think.
part, he's like,
I
"No,
think-
come on in here.
I mean, you could be generous and say, well, maybe it was like his way of getting over stage fright. Like he gets over the feeling of people watching him, like all these people staring at him, and then going on stage. Like it could be an effective strategy. Like if you really think about it, if you have a room full of people that are just staring at you, and you're just doing normal stuff, and then you go on stage, it's like you've kind of relaxed.
Sure.
Does that make any sense?
I mean, also, no. I mean, it does. it does for somebody who would. I just, for me personally, the power move of doing that is such an asshole thing. Like, hey, everybody, stop what you're doing. Watch me eat curry. It's so
Yeah.
absurd. It's like, do you really need that? Is that?
This is the woman who was working there was telling me about.
Stupid.
That's how she was thinking of it. She's like, he's so weird. And I was like, how so? And then she was just telling me all these stories. In the dressing room. They'd all be standing around.
That's a power move, though.
20 people.
That's a power. That's. Hey, do what I say.
Yeah. Tuck me in.
Tuck me in.
Tuck me in. Like he would climb in bed, and you'd have to like
like
tuck.
a little burrito.
Yeah, a little burrito.
Read him a story.
Sorry, I like to go to sleep.
Give him his baba.
Yeah. Whoa, shut the light out. Now leave. Ooh.
That's so dark.
Well, like a lot of these people have like a whole team of handlers,
Yes.
Open the door for Mr. Cosby, like Mr. Cosby sits down. You might want to buckle him up. Want to buckle up, Mr. Cosby? Mr. Cosby just sits there. You buckle him up, and he just drives. Weird, right?
Yeah, I'm not even, like, I don't know. I can't connect. I don't know.
Some people, I think, probably like the idea of royalty, like being royal.
It sounds like a jail. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I follow on Instagram Kate,
Who?
the new royal.
What's her name?
Kate of, it's
Winslet?
like Kate of Berkshire or whatever, fucking Princess
Of
Kate.
Berkshire.
And it's such
Princess Kate Middleton.
yeah, Kate Middleton, yeah.
Yes.
And the fantasy, and I think in addition to the like thing, right, that sort of whatever culture is the culture of people putting forward their best image all the time. You're not really posting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And could you imagine the absolute hell of being that 24/7? I mean, I would hate it so much.
But does someone look forward to that? Like does someone go, oh, I wish it was me?
Yeah. Some girls dreaming of being Kate Middleton.
It would be amazing. I want to be Kate. Look at her. She's very
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah. No, she's fantastic.
Do you
She's
think
doing a great job.
Do you think he's got a hog on him?
No.
Tall, skinny guy. Might have a hog.
The Brits are not known for
hogs?
I lived in England for a year. I did not do anything. I didn't touch an English hog, but I had a gay friend that was touching all the hogs. And he was like, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Yeah.
Look at this comment. Scroll. Great-grandfather John committed suicide at age 43. His sister Julia remained a spinster her whole life, I believe. She lived with brother Ebenezer, the shipwright. What the fuck kind of comment is that?
This guy's leaving a bunch of comments, apparently.
Yeah. Well,
It's just weird.
Yeah, just a bunch of stuff.
talking to Hitler.
Yeah, look at this. Iran deal. What kind of obtruse, scandalous, and disgraceful gnosis is this? I am not one of the grand and glorious vetted ones privy to the global secrets. Like, oh, this guy's a nut. This guy's leaving some interesting comments. This is Kensington Royal Instagram page. How many likes do they have there? 119,000. Conor McGregor shits on you, Royals. He shits on your numbers, too. 2.2 million.
Damn.
Spit at that.
You know what's a great Instagram is passenger shaming. Have you seen
What
this?
is that?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a flight attendant, and she takes photos of people putting their nasty feet up on the seats
God.
and on the trays and acting like fools. And then she puts it up, and they talk some shit. It's fantastic. Yeah, see, people, look at this. Look at this nasty.
Yeah, people are gross.
Putting your feet up on the fucking thing.
Oh, yeah.
Do it all. I just had someone do it last week to me. They put their foot in between the seat. See how that dog is? Their foot was there.
So you saw the foot
Yeah.
while you were looking down?
Yeah.
Like, the foot was right there. Did you say anything?
No, I just took a picture and put it on Instagram. Yeah, just like that.
It is nasty. People are fucking gross. And sometimes their feet will touch you.
Ugh.
Like if someone's hand touches you, no big deal.
Yeah.
But your fucking stinky feet. You know what
So
my daughter did the
disrespect.
other day? The same one that's making me wear this gay bracelet. My daughter made this bracelet for my 7-year-old. She's fucking hilarious. She had a Band-Aid on her finger, and she kept it on all day. And she goes, Dad, smell my finger. I'm like, I don't want to smell your finger. She goes, come on, smell my finger. I go, I don't want to smell your finger. She goes, it smells like roses. And I smell it. Smelled like Joey Diaz's feet. It was so and she's laughing. She's like, it's disgusting. She thought it was so funny that she got me to smell it that I gave in. After I'll go, okay. Oh, Jesus.
It's
just
rad.
this tiny little 7-year-old. Like, it's just so funny to her.
It's so good.
It's funny when you're going to see this about your son as he gets older. They have their own little way of talking and thinking about things and
Yeah, I
communicating with you and a little calculated way of interfacing with the world.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I see it already. I see some manipulation
Does he
techniques.
talk?
He's starting to, yeah.
Yeah?
Words, mama,
Yeah.
da, da, and he can say
Yeah.
certain things. Yeah, it's cute as fuck. I love it.
Oh, it's so amazing.
I like it.
So
love it.
strange. You're making people.
It's bananas. And I always, we look at him, and I'm like, we made this dude.
Yeah.
Like one weekend in Virginia Beach
Whoa.
when you were at the Funny Bone.
Do 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 do.
Right. We were eating at Ruth's Chris. And then this fucking
Came back,
guy.
bam.
Yeah.
Do you guys like when you
Bananas.
see Tommy now with this crazy fitness routine? I mean, he looks fantastic. I mean, I saw him the other night. I was like, Jesus Christ, look how fucking great you look.
I love it.
He lost all that weight from the weight loss challenge and then just fucking ran with it.
He is so much happier now. And I sing the praises of the fat shaming campaign. And I think that shaming is such a wonderful tool to get people to jumpstart whatever it is that they need to
But people don't want to
accomplish.
hear that.
No. But shame is a wonderful. It's not necessarily bad to feel shame. Shame is okay in small doses. It
It's a
can
motivator.
motivate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people need to be motivated.
Yeah.
And in whatever way they can get. But the thing is, it makes people feel bad, and people don't want people to feel bad.
Yeah. Well, feeling bad is what makes you change.
But some people, when they shame you, they're shaming you because they're just being mean. Any positive consequences that come from that are just inconsequential. They're just lucky.
Yeah.
You know.
But in this case, I think it was a constructive shame. And
Well, they were both wanting to lose weight, and
Yeah.
Tom and Bert were both shitting on each other equally back and forth.
yeah, so crazy.
But what was interesting is like fans got really into it and were really mean about it.
Yes, and really funny about it. We got many submissions on Your Mom's House, international submissions of like English teachers in their classrooms, like teaching them how to say "bird is fat" in English, and they're
Yeah.
like speaking Indian or something. It was really cool. So many videos.
Tom started doing like local TV stations and talking to them about how fat Bert is. And it would get online, and it just got so crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and then people would go to Bert's show and yell out, "Tom's fat!"
Yeah.
You know, and like Tom's shows, people yell out, "Why is Bert so fat?"
I definitely think the "bird is fat" campaign took off a lot more. I would say
yeah.
that got some heat, and
I think his podcast, Bert's, is struggling in comparison to Tom's and yours. I think you guys have a much more powerful presence online.
Yeah.
And it's like he fucked with the wrong
Interesting.
dude.
He did fuck with the wrong dude. Now, Sober October, we are how many? 11 days in.
What's today?
Yeah, today's the 11th.
Yeah,
How's
just
it
so
going?
everybody knows, I'm not smoking pot, all right? Why? Because I got shamed into it, because Ari was being a fucking bitch. He's like, you can't smoke pot. I'm like, I can. It's just that wasn't part of the deal. And I thought about it on September 31st, I said, or whatever it was, September, what is it, 31, 30? And I was like, fuck this. I was like, I don't need to smoke pot. I'm going to take the whole month off pot, too. So I've taken the whole month off pot. And one of the things that's interesting is my dreams are
Really?
intense. I had a dream last night. And maybe it was because I'm paying attention to all this Harvey Weinstein shit. I had a dream last night that there was some Russian woman who was like married to some Russian dictator dude that was seducing me. And I was
The
terrified.
dude was seducing you, or the
No,
girl?
the girl was.
Oh, yeah.
The woman was. She was like some really hot Russian woman, but I was terrified of her because she was like the wife of like some really powerful man. And she was like making me hang out with her. And like I didn't fuck her in my dreams, but like I was like, you know, basically like being submissive to her, you know? Yeah, it was very strange. And we were on a boat somehow or another. Like, it was super vivid. And we were looking
Interesting.
out, and I looked out the window, and another boat was really close to us, but it didn't collide with us. I was like, oh. But it was, like, super vivid. And I was thinking, like, wow. Like, and,
This is last night?
yeah, and I was thinking, I didn't have any alpha brain before I went to bed either. It wasn't, like, one of those dreams. But it was really vivid. Like, really. And that's one of the things that I'd heard when people stop smoking pot, is that their dreams become very vivid. And you remember your dreams.
Now, in my therapist will do dream analysis on me. And it's usually people who represent either feelings you have, or you don't really dream. You dream in symbolism, right? So the Russian lady could be whoever. It could be your mother, your sister, your wife, your blah,
I think
blah,
she
blah.
represented power to me, like the feeling of being, like, you know, like it's very unusual for a man to feel like they're in a position where a woman has power over them, unless it's your boss, right? So for me, it was like this feeling of this woman who I couldn't say no to, and I was scared of, and because she was like she was married to some dictator. You know, and she's like, come into my room. I want you to hang out with me. And she was really beautiful. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do whatever. But I was like really like nervous around her and,
And you
shit.
didn't get it on?
No, not in the dream. Not unless I forgot that part. Yeah. I mean, it was really weird. It was like, because I was like, I better do what she says, like one of those things.
You were
And I was
scared.
thinking, like, man, wonder what if that's what it feels like to be like someone who had to deal with someone like Harvey Weinstein. Like, I was
Yeah,
wondering
for
if
sure.
that's what planted that seed in my head. Like, if I was a young starlet hoping to make it in the business, and he was the guy that held, possible my future in front of me, right?
Well, also the dreams, anyway, my shrink says that when you do your dream analysis, a lot of times it's feelings you can't deal with in waking life. So it's the feeling in the dream.
All right. What do you think they would say?
Powerlessness.
What do you think they would say about this dream?
I don't know, because I don't know enough about your personal life. I would have to know more about your dynamics, like between your wife, your whoever else is in your world, because it always represents other people. You won't ever dream, like, if you have problems with your mommy or your daddy, it's not really, you never, for instance, whenever, it's just so weird, but whenever I dream about my father, I actually dream about Howard Stern. Like, I associate the two. Yeah, so Howard Stern shows
Why?
up. They have a similar sense of humor, and I grew up on Stern, and I see Stern as like a paternal, he could be my dad. Like, in a lot of ways, he's my comedy dad. Like, I grew up just worshiping Howard Stern, yeah. So whenever I dream about Stern, I know it's like, it's a dad issue.
Would you be weirded out if you did a show?
I would fucking love it so much. It's my dream. That's one of my, I don't get geeked out on celebrities. I don't really care. P would be the only one that I'd be nervous.
He was the most important thing that I ever did, for sure, to me. In my mind, he was like I didn't give a fuck if I was on a Tonight Show. That didn't mean anything to me. I was
Yeah.
never a Tonight Show comic. Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, like, all those things were like for people who wanted to do 7 clean minutes. And I was a Kinnison guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked Kinnison. I liked Dice. I liked Richard Pryor. Like, I didn't want to be that kind of squeaky clean comic. So to me, Howard Stern was like this groundbreaker. Like, he was like the first guy to ever just do an all talk show on regular radio, right? I mean, he used to do songs, he used to play records, but then it became just the stuff in between the records was even better, and then it became all that. And when I was a kid, I mean, I had heard, like, there was some funny shows in Boston where back in the day when they had real DJs and shit like that, but I had always heard about Stern, And then once I first started listening to him, and it was like he was on in Boston as well, and I was thinking, like, that's the holy grail. Like,
Yeah,
that's
dude, he's the
when you get
best.
there, especially then, back in the day when he was on, like, regular radio and everybody was listening. It was like, you'd get like 18 million people listening to his show.
fucking crazy.
There's nothing ever like that before or since.
No, and I worked in my dad's shop. My dad had a forklift repair shop, and I'd have to fucking work there every summer. And I remember starting at like 12 years old, I started listening to Stern. He was on like the radio here in LA in the mornings, and I would be so bummed when those 4 hours were over, and then I have to listen to whoever fucking dickhead was on after, like whatever fake nonsense
Yeah.
radio. And then like But Bongo Fiesta came out. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was the shit. And they had like the KKK guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff it was so radical. It was so funny.
Yeah. Remember Private Parts?
Of course, I've seen it a million times. Yeah.
To me, too, he also represented this fight against the suppressive free speech of the right-wing people that were in power at the time. Because the FCC went after him in a huge way. They were fining his station hundreds of thousands of dollars for doing like potty jokes or something like that and talking about penises. Like, they would attack them and like literally fine them hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was a direct assault on free speech because it wasn't even words that they were saying.
Right.
It wasn't even forbidden words. It was like topics. They were deciding what people could and couldn't say. And he was, for all of us who were comics, he was at the front of the line of that shit. I mean, he was the guy that was taking the hits. And in a lot of ways, it boosted him, because everybody was aware that he was like being attacked and people were outraged.
Yeah.
But it represented when Bush was in office, when Bush was the president, and we were all kind of freaked out by that this was happening. That this guy who was this really funny guy, they were deciding he was a criminal, and they were fining his station hundreds of thousands of dollars for what? For making people laugh? Like,
so crazy.
yeah, so for me, it represented so much. It was so crazy. It was just, that was the most nervous I've ever been in my life. The night before I did it, and actually I did yoga. The night before I did yoga in my hotel room to calm myself down, and it worked.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was super, super calm. when I
Dude,
finally got
that
there.
would be like I would love
It'll probably
to go
happen.
there. Oh man.
Do.
What about what was I gonna say? Oh, I forgot now. I don't know.
Got mommy brain.
Yeah, I got
Mommy brain's a real
something
thing.
Brain. Yeah, it for sure is. It totally changed. I don't sleep through the night anymore. I wake up all night.
You
shit
hear
like that.
things too, right? Like, what? What's going on? Everything okay?
I sense everything, man. My
Yeah.
spidey senses are always on as a mother.
Imagine.
I know what's up.
Get a little human you made with your own body.
It's fucking bananas. I don't know why women act like it's not the biggest deal in the world. It is the craziest thing in the world.
What women act like it's not the biggest deal?
I feel like it's very normal for some people. Like, I just feel
Really?
like we need to be like blown away by it constantly, and we're just not blown away by it enough.
Well, you know what? You don't have a 50-hour-a-week day job and a dickhead for a husband. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
I
Maybe
think-
that's why.
Yeah. I mean, for those women,
Yeah.
like, yeah, fucking kid's still alive. Guess I gotta feed it. I don't know. I mean, I think the experience is different depending on what kind of relationship you have with your partner. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Partner sounds like you have a gay girlfriend.
My gay partner.
Yeah, right.
My
Can't
Ellen.
say partner. Like a guy said that to me about his girlfriend once. Well, me and my partner, we've been living together for a while. I'm like, what?
Your partner.
Your partner?
That's a homosexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom
He was
and I.
calling his wife his partner.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's
That's
like
only
your
for gays.
partner.
That's
Are
not
you
for
a partner in crime. Are you guys criminals? Like, what are you?
You're your business partner.
What the fuck
Fucking
are you
weirdo.
talking about? It was just such a weird way
Yeah.
of describing it. My partner.
Monroe for Too Close for Comfort. Or what?
Just put a strap on you, bro.
Yeah. We were watching As Good as It Gets last night, and Greg Kinnear. Was that
I
his name?
hated that movie.
Oh, really?
The
I
movie
love
made
it.
me angry.
What part? What made you the angriest?
Because he's a racist. They're gonna fix it with a pill.
Oh,
It was
right.
so
yeah.
stupid. It was so fucking stupid. Is it like she seemed like this really sweet woman who had a kid, and Jack Nicholson was this old cunt, and that's as good as it gets? Like, what kind of fucking message is that for people? Like, this is so stupid.
I never
and
thought of it
the
that
writing
way.
was so dumb. I was like, oh, you're gonna fix his racism with a pill? Get the fuck out of here. That is so stupid. Like, oh, I'm all better now. I don't hate Spicks. Like, fuck off. Fucking stupid movie. I hated that movie. I'm like, this poor lady. She seems so nice. Like, maybe find a nice guy who's sweet to you.
I never thought of it that way. That she just settles for this
Yeah.
old, shitty, racist
Yeah.
creepo who needs to take drugs to make him somewhat normal.
Yeah, he takes drugs to make him not a racist. It's the stupidest idea ever.
And he kind of manipulates her
Yeah.
by sending the doctor over to care for her child. She's in need. She has no money.
As good as it gets.
Yeah.
This is not as good as it gets. Hang in there, sweetie.
You can get better.
You could do a lot better. That was pre-Tinder.
Jack Nicholson.
She
though.
couldn't swipe right.
She could not swipe. No,
Yeah.
there was no swiping back then,
You
bro.
just gotta find some other nice dad, and your kid gets along with their kid, and you have another fucking Brady Bunch type
That's
deal.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. You could have done that.
This the story of a man named Brady.
What's her name? Alice just died, right?
Yeah. Who's alive still? The dad died of AIDS, right?
He died. That was bananas,
When we
right?
found out the dad was actually taken in the keister.
Had no idea. Oh, so anyway, Greg Kinnear's character, his parents disown him because he's gay.
Yeah.
And last night Tom was like, "Can you believe this shit? This is like what 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was considered a thing. Like you would disown your child.
Oh, yeah.
Now
It probably
it's like,
still is a thing.
Oh yes, it is. But I'm
In,
saying
like,
it's way
Kansas and
less.
shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
South Dakota, they fucking kill you. That's what
Of
I heard.
course, they kill you. They
People in
hunt
South
you.
Dakota, fuck you, Rogan. We're normal now. We have the internet. I'm kidding, folks. I run out of things to say.
They-
I free ball.
They bow hunt
Yeah.
the quiz.
The bow hunting quiz.
Is that what you guys do? The hunting. Hunt the gays.
No. The gays aren't edible.
They're-
Bow hunting the quiz. Can you imagine?
partner.
I was reading this thing about cannibals.
My partner.
About the. I know it's a weird thing to say, right?
It is, I guess you had to dance around. You couldn't be like, "This is my boyfriend, my girlfriend."
No,
yeah.
it's his wife. He was calling her his partner.
People are so fucked up.
Well, I almost think that a guy like that
Partner.
is like so programmed by like liberal sensibilities that he's like he wants to put her on equal ground. It's not my wife. I don't own her. She's my partner. We're in this together.
Totally drinking the Kool-Aid.
All these
Yeah.
bitch-made men. There's so many just bitch-made men out there that just wearing slippery shoes and walking around with tight pants on. They can't take a punch. They're just barely getting through life.
Let's talk about this.
barely men. They're barely men.
You know what? It's so funny because Tommy yesterday he goes, "You know what, Christina, you're like a 1930s man." Because I'm so
A cigar in the corner of your mouth, reading the
Yeah.
paper. These fucking
Yeah.
faggots.
Yeah. Well, because I'm traditional. I actually am very traditional about this kind of stuff. Look, the truth of it is the fucking guy wearing the string bracelets and the thumb ring and the ponytail and your chakra alignment and the Reiki, that's just a fucking thing for him to get laid. At the end of the day, he's just trying to convince you to fuck him.
Well, he's just trying to play the spiritual angle.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's his game.
Well, this is what I was saying on stage last night. I did Jeremiah Watkins' show. You ever do that show?
No, I have to. I hear it's
fucking
so
amazing.
fun.
Stand up on the spot.
Yeah.
You just make up things. People yell things out at you. But one of the things I was saying, we were talking about male feminists. Somehow the subject came up. And I was saying, if you could give any one of those guys a pill that would turn them into that Thor dude, that Chris Hemsworth dude, they would all take it.
Or the most
100%
powerful.
of them. Yeah. And then they would just be themselves.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to. Like I was talking about this tweet that I read that literally made me want to punch my fist through the fucking laptop. This guy said, "I'm not calling myself a feminist until women tell me I'm doing feminism correctly." Like he's just like literally cutting off his dick and offering it on a platter. I don't need this. I'm not about that. I'm spiritual.
Well, and here's the truth of, at least for me, I appreciate when a man is down for the cause. Like I get that. But it's not attractive to date a guy that's like a girl. For me, personally, I like men.
Sexist.
Totally, 100%.
Are you sexist?
Yeah, probably. I don't know what I am.
It's okay
anyway.
to a girl to be sexist.
I don't even know.
I feel like it's okay for a girl to want traditional gender roles. It's very suppressive if a guy wants them. That's the thought process.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, because we have the option to be like the stay-at-home mom or the career lady.
But if you want like a guy to be a man, that's okay. But if a man, I like a woman who just shuts the fuck up and lets me bang her.
Right.
People are like, what?
Right, you're considered,
Piece of shit. But a girl can say, I like a guy who just grabs me by my hair and fucks my mouth.
Right.
And you're like, whoa.
And you're like, whoa, she's so empowered. Wow, there's a lady that, she's not slut-shamed. Yeah.
She can be herself.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know.
I think all of our issues stem, the real issue, all of our issues stem from actual sexism, actual discrimination. If we didn't have that, if we just had people judged on the merits of their behavior and their character and what they're capable of, and we would just look like that's one of the things about the stand-up comedy world. Like maybe audience members, like you would be able to tell much more than I would that they. I definitely think that some guys see a girl go up and they go, "Oh, it's fucking. What is she funny?" Right?
That was the whole environment I came up in.
For sure.
Arms folded.
Yeah.
The fuck is this girl
gonna be funny? Great. How long is she up for? 15 minutes. Maybe I should take a piss.
Yeah, 100%.
Go to the bar.
Yeah.
But in the world of comics, it's very egalitarian.
Yeah.
If you kill, you're a comic, right? Like nobody in the comedy world looks at Ali Wong as a girl.
She's amazing. She's
just a comic.
Yeah.
She happens to be a girl, but she's just a killer, right? Yep. That's how everybody looks at her.
Yes.
Like there's like a level of the video game that you get to where you slot into, oh, this is a peer. Like she's a killer.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing about the world of comedy. Like when you're a killer, people think of you as a killer. It doesn't matter if you have a vagina or a penis, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're murdering it, you're in that group.
Right, it's the great leveler, right? It's very true.
Yeah, because like nobody can hold your hand for you once you get up there.
No, and it's a very ballsy thing to do, and either you fail and you fail hard, or you succeed and you succeed hard. There's no middle ground.
But I definitely think women have a way harder go at it because I think that sexual topics, that you either are the slut, like you were saying before, or they're weird.
Right.
Because if you're just a regular woman and you're talking to these strangers about like how you like your asshole licked and you're really embarrassed about it, people are like, what the fuck? And girls will get mad at you. If you're attractive, girls will get mad at you because their husband's laughing. Like, you think that's funny? She's gross. She's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then politics are almost off level.
Forget it.
People get mad at you. They will get mad at you if you're a Trump supporter and you're a woman and you're on stage and there's a bunch of people in the audience that are liberals. They'll get mad.
Forget
if you're a liberal on stage and there's Trump supporters in the audience and you start shitting on Trump, they'll get mad at you. Stick to the jokes. Stop with the politics. Stick to the jokes.
Yeah. Well, what I've noticed is that at least here's my thing. I have hope for the millennials. I think they're changing how comedy is consumed. The podcasting world, it's millennials, the early adapters. And they grew up watching Sarah Silverman, Lisa Lampanelli, all these motherfucking bad bitches. So now when the millennial comes to a show, that 20-year-old boy doesn't have the same bias that the men who I started in front of had. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a given that a woman is a comic now. It's way cooler. It's way different.
Well, don't you think there's, I'd like to think, I'm not a millennial, but I'd like to think there's less sexism.
Yeah. No.
It's less accepted.
Yeah. I mean, when I started featuring, I literally called the club in the Midwest, and I was on Chelsea Lately. I go, okay, can I do your room? Can I headline? Or even just feature? No, feature. Well, Christina, I've already booked 2 women this year.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The whole year.
The whole year, guys.
That's it.
That's
We're
all.
done.
52 weeks, 50 of them. Yeah, and I was like, wow, I'm never gonna do your fucking club again. But I heard shit like that the whole time coming
Already
up.
booked 2 women. Imagine if that was with a guy.
Oh my god.
Imagine if guys, it was that hard to get into comedy. I already booked 2 dudes. We only have so many swinging dicks.
I know, but again, but with that feminism shit, and I try not to look at the problems of the world. Like, I try to fucking transcend it. Like, I can't even, I used to be so much angrier at feminism and all this shit when I was in my 30s. And then now I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care what society wants me to be or what the fucking rules are. I don't care.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Life is too short for me to even worry about what this person thinks or the society is thinking.
Well, I think that like what you're seeing like on college campuses where people are like super radical, left-wing, progressive is, and I think you're seeing that with young people as well. I think people are just trying to work out the world,
Yeah.
and sometimes they work out the world by assuming some sort of a behavior pattern. And that behavior pattern could be right-wing or it could be left-wing. I mean, it could be feminist. It could be, whatever. They could be genderqueer. They'll try that out for a while. I'm going to shave half my head and wear a nose ring and say fuck cisgendered men. And people get weird.
Yeah, that's true.
And they just assume these patterns and try them out for a while, almost like dressing punk rock,
Yeah.
You start wearing Doc Martens and rolling your jeans up,
Oh, I love that time.
Yeah.
I was really good at that.
Did you
That
do
was
that?
my lane. I was punk as fuck, dude.
Were you?
Goth and punk for
Any
like,
weird piercings in the face? Did you do
No.
the nose or the lips?
jeans. No, I was too sensible because I knew that I'd have a hole in my face.
Ooh, you're always sensible.
I was so
Interesting.
controlled. Yeah. I only have one shitty tattoo. I got a tramp stamp in the 90s on Road Rules.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think that control thing was because your mom was nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My world was out of control, so I was like, I have to be responsible. I was the one that was responsible from the time I was, a little kid.
Right.
I grew up fast. Right?
That makes
The
sense.
parentified child, as they say.
Yeah. You find that a lot. It's interesting. It's like, I have this dilemma. I've talked about this with Brian Callen and a lot of my friends that are dads. It's like, all my interesting friends came from fucked up childhoods.
Yeah.
But I don't want that for my kids.
No.
Right. So what is that? Like, all my favorite people came from fucked up childhoods.
Game recognized game, son. You know what I'm saying? But it's because your wires are whatever crossed a certain way, same way, similarly. But you don't want to fuck up your kid. I have the same dilemma. Believe me, I don't want my son. Then again, I'd be super thrilled if my son grew up and was like, I'm going to be an accountant. I'm just going to be normal.
Would you?
Yep. I don't want him to be in show business. Like, this is craziness.
Yeah.
This business is not for normal people.
Especially the avenue that you've carved.
stand up.
Yeah.
What do you mean, you too?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've carved.
Yeah.
Horrible.
It's crazy.
It's bananas. And I was just, when I look back on who we started with like 14 years ago and the attrition rate,
Ridiculous.
There's no reason. It's just bananas that we can even make a living at this. Like, there's no reason I should be. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Well, it's one thing that, you start off and you suck and you keep working at it and you
Right.
suck less and then you start getting laughs. Then you start doing better and then you start working and you keep building and you keep moving. As long as you keep moving. And sometimes you'll have some setbacks, like probably you when you were doing Chelsea Lately and me when I was doing news radio. And, and if you can get back on the horse and get back moving,
Yeah.
you can pick it up, and next thing you know, you got a motherfucking Netflix special.
Whoop,
Oh,
whoop.
shit, it's out right now. Oh, shit, right there. Mother Inferior. It's available right now. And we'll wrap it up with this. Mother Inferior, available
Thank
for
you.
streaming. Screaming and streaming. Both, right now. God damn it. Christina Pazitsky, ladies and gentlemen.
Aw.
And make sure you watch and listen to Your Mom's House. Fantastic podcast.
Yes.
And let's do this more often.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure,
Super
my friend.
fun. Thank you.
I enjoyed it too. All right, folks. We'll see you soon. Bye.
OMG, we did it.